It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life. I'm getting used to saying that. It's starting to feel right on this Wednesday. Yes, I said Wednesday, August 18th, 2021. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm a little out of breath because I just ran down the hall and came back doing a little cardio before the show. I am so happy to be here on a Wednesday. This feels right. You know, when the show finished on Monday at around 4 o'clock Eastern time, I was like, man, I want more. I want to sit here. I want to sleep here. I want to sit here at this desk from now until the next show. That's how I felt. It felt so good. It felt like putting on that like amazing pair of shoes that you hadn't worn in quite some time. You forgot just how good they felt. It just kind of like slides in, right? You don't have to struggle with it. That's what this felt like on Monday. And I can't thank you all enough. Again, from the bottom of my heart, and I feel like I keep repeating it over and over again. I can't thank you all enough for everything that you have said to me, written to me, tweeted to me about, DM'd me about this show coming back into your life. I can't thank you all enough. As of this morning, I think we were number 4 on Apple Podcasts. We were number 10, I think, on Spotify, climbing the ranks. You continue to rate, review, subscribe, follow, download, comment. It helps us greatly. It helps this whole family here. And that's what it is feeling like again. And I really can't thank the people behind that wall enough as well, and in other offices and maybe even at home. The leaders of Vox, the production staff, few people that helped get this show off the ground so quickly. Alex and Joe and Brian and Miles and Srinivas. I mean, I was talking with them leading up to this, and I hope that I'm not forgetting anyone. I hate mentioning names because I'm always afraid that I'm going to forget someone, but this just feels so good. And everyone behind the scenes at MMA Fighting and at Vox who helped elevate the show and amplify it and get all the social stuff out. The social team was great. I mean, it just feels so good. And so what I always wanted to do with this show was not just make it a Monday show. I didn't want to say goodbye on Monday afternoon and then come back in 7 days. I always wanted more, but for whatever reason, the schedule didn't allow for it, travel, this and that. Now we do it twice a week. This is a thing. Get used to it. Who knows? One day, maybe 5 days a week. But for now, it's Monday, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. GMT. This is the show for MMA. You know, I heard from a lot of people who said, I'm a new fan. I'm an ESPN era fan. I don't know the MMA Hour. Some of those people exist. You didn't do a good enough job of explaining to us what the show is. Did you watch it on Monday? That's the show. The show is incredible access to the biggest names in the sport, unfiltered commentary, uncensored conversations, no ties to anyone, no ties to any promoter, no ties to any manager, no ties to any fighter. It's me and you shooting like they do in the old days. And that's the best way to do it, in my opinion. 4 to 5 guests on Monday, 4 to 5 guests on Wednesday. We do this bad boy twice a week, and this just feels right. It just feels right being back here. I don't want to wait 7 days to do this show again. I'm here 2 days later. I hope you're buckling up, my friends, because we got another great lineup for all of you. Third hour, we're going to be joined by the one and only Jorge Masvidal. Am I saying that right? I'm trying. It's hard with the R's. It's just, you know, Ciryl Adesanya is a little more natural for me. Jorge Masvidal, Gamebred himself, will be joining us. Haven't talked to him in quite some time. Haven't talked to him since the Monday after his loss to Kamaru Usman. Since then, launched his own promotion, Gamebred FC. Was it FC? Yeah, Fighting Championships. That was in June. So he'll join us. 3 o'clock, by the way, on my Substack page, Ariel Helwani.substack.com, I did an Ask Me Anything. I asked all of you who have signed up for the page to ask me anything you want about whatever you want. There's a bunch of comments. There's a bunch of questions on there. I have not looked at any of them. I want it to be from the heart. So ask me. I have a feeling you're going to ask me about personal stuff, this and that. Whatever you want. I'll try to get through as many as I can in a 30 or so minute stretch. And I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, what you guys wrote in and what you have on your mind. So that's going to happen at 3 o'clock. At 2:30, we're going to be joined by the pride of Saint Isidore, Quebec, Canada, the greatest of all time, the former UFC welterweight and middleweight champion, the one and only George Rush St-Pierre. He is going to be joining us at 2:30. It is always an honor to talk to that man, a living legend. Couldn't be more humble, couldn't be more down to earth, couldn't be more gracious. GSP, the man, he's going to be joining us at 2:30. At 2 o'clock, we're going to be joined by Kayla Harrison, who's the face of the PFL, who fights tomorrow. So this is another new fun little element to the Wednesday show. PFL on Thursday, she weighs in, she joins us the day before her fight. That would never happen on a Monday show, right? When are there Tuesday fights, right? There's never Tuesday fights. We get Kayla Harrison joining us a little over 24 hours removed from her fight. Is it removed? Would removed be the right thing to say, or away from her fight? Removed would probably be after the fact. And so we'll be joined by her. We're also going to be joined by Ciryl Gane, the new French prince of mixed martial arts, the new UFC interim heavyweight champion who just won the belt, less than 2 weeks ago against Derek Lewis. We'll talk to him about that, where he goes from here, coming back home, fighting Francis, his former teammate and friend, all that stuff and more. We'll talk to him at 1:30 Eastern time. But first, let us go to the Zoom machine and talk to one of my favorite guests in the history of this program. We met him many moons ago in the AOL days, back in, I think, 2011, when he was joining his friend Gianpiero Volante in studio. I called him Chris Weidman at the time. He was just a baby-faced assassin in the Ring of Combat promotion, a couple of weeks away from making his UFC debut, unbeknownst to us, in Louisville, Kentucky, the one and only, the former UFC middleweight champion, the man whose picture is right over there on the wall, the pride of Long Island, who now lives in the Carolinas, Chris Weidman, joining us via the magic of Zoom. Hey, Chris.
What's up, buddy? I appreciate that intro.
We're back, baby.
It feels good to be in this little office of yours. Back to the MMA Hour set. Where's my little pop doll?
Okay, so, you have a picture. I mean, even better. I don't know if you can see it. It's on this, maybe the camera angle that you're seeing. Your picture is right there when you knocked out Anderson Silva, UFC 162. July of 2013, Chris Weidman. I don't know if you know that happened, but it's right over there.
I don't remember that. So thanks for reminding me.
So it's there. You will forever be immortalized. In fact, little known fact, all the photos on this wall are new, except for one. There's one photograph that was from the old set that I was on doing this show back in 2017, 2018, and that's your picture. It was just an amazing photo taken by the great Esther Lynn, all elbows, and it's a historic moment. I wanted it up there, so there you go. That's how much I love you, Chris.
I appreciate it. And again, that you mentioned it in the intro, being in there for the first time with John Volante. It was the same day you had Fedor on and his whole entourage.
Yes.
I was so intimidated. I was in the Ring of Combat, and I was very happy that you asked me to come on the show and be able to sit next to Volante, because he was in Strikeforce at the time. But it was definitely a nerve-wracking experience.
Yeah, it was February of 2011, right before the Grand Prix, the first round of the Grand Prix at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And then I do believe, off the top of my head, this is how crazy I am, March 3rd, 2011, the debut, right? Louisville, Kentucky.
That's impressive. Did you do what was the name of that card?
Well,
you are good with this stuff.
It was what happened? What happened to you? You got all blurry on me. Look at you. You've got a really cool camera. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
It was UFC on Versus, Martin Kampmann against Diego Sanchez.
Yep.
I was on the desk for that. I was working the desk. I was like a part of the actual broadcast.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know you ever did that.
Oh, my God.
I forgot about that.
Wow.
How long ago when was the last time you did that?
Wow. You really have to go there, huh?
Well, you can't even talk. Oh,
no. Listen, the last time I've been on the desk, well, as part of the broadcast, 2016, when I was working for Fox. And And then they chopped my head off, Chris. They chopped my head off. By the way, shout out to Ian.
That?
No, I do not miss it at all. I like unfiltered
Really?
Ariel, uncensored Ariel, unchained Ariel, Helwani. I like this version of myself. I feel free, Chris. I feel like these wings are sprouting off my back and I can fly and no one's going to clip them. By the way, shout out to Ian Parker, by the way. Yeah, go ahead. I just want to give a shout out to Ian Parker.
You're very good at talking yourself into believing that. But I think you do believe in it a little bit because you're really good at positive reinforcement and talking yourself into that. But I don't know. I think it bothers you a little bit.
Okay, so wow, I like this. You're actually stirring the pot here, poking the bear. You think that I'm convincing myself that I like to be on the outside looking in, but in reality, I'm dying inside. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't even think. I think you're beyond. I think you're past that. I don't think you're dying inside consciously, but subconsciously, it is. That still definitely eats you up inside.
No, I can't. I mean, you couldn't be
just a little bit.
No, I mean, you could not be any more wrong. I appreciate you trying to go there. This is good.
Why are you going so hard with all these different adjectives to explain how amazing it is to be?
That's a good question. You know why? Because when you've been breathless, Chris, if I could be real with you, for 3 years, when you've been suffocating for 3 years, you feel like shouting from the top of your lungs that you are free at last. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Oh, no, I get it. And that's why I need to have you on my podcast.
Well, this is a great transition because I felt like you were interviewing me for your damn podcast, which is a phenomenal podcast. It's called Won't Back Down. What a logo, by the way, that you have over there. It's really great. Won't Back Down with the great Chris Weidman.
Very proud of it.
What made you do and you do it from this
yourself right now.
Yeah, where?
This awesome logo t-shirt, and I'm not getting any money from this. All net proceeds go to a Heroes non-for-profit organization that helps wounded veterans get back to normal day life. So it's an awesome
What's it
charity.
called? Is it Hire Heroes, the one that Stan is involved in?
Get a hero? No, what? Now you made me.
I mean, really? Here's this guy coming out swinging,
hero.
poking the bear, and he doesn't even know the charity's name. I mean, golly.
All right, we're gonna have to put this in the. I don't know what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to figure out a way.
No,
to
it's
put
okay. Why don't you have your producer? I believe his name is Troy. Work on that, and he could send you the information.
Oh my God, I was totally wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it?
It's very embarrassing. I apologize. I just had surgery. I have tons of anesthesia still in my system. All right, so give me a break. Sons of the Flag.
Okay, not even close.
I went through you have no idea. Listen, I went through so much to try to find a charity to give away money to. And it's so hard. There's so many red flags. You're not allowed to say that money is going to a charity because a lot of times people only buy the t-shirt because they feel like it's going to this charity, and then people will take the money and steal. So I had to go through like so much red tape, and they have my managers talk to lawyers and figure out a way to even just promote that I want to give money to a charity.
You just want to be a good guy. You want to donate, and they're stiff arming you.
Yeah. Well, I had my buddy Omar Crispy Avila, who had 104 surgeries. He was my second guest on my podcast. And he was the one who recommended Sons of the Flag. And so then I decided to do that. I originally was trying Wounded Warriors, but I think you have to guarantee like $100,000 if you're going to advertise it's going to them.
Wow. 100,000. Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. I can understand why. Okay, I want to ask you about the podcast. I want to ask you about your first guest that you ever had on the podcast. Of course, that was Anderson Silva. But first, let's get the big news out of the way. I actually wasn't expecting you to be sitting here. You told me yesterday you would not be sitting in the familiar podcast room now because you just had your second leg surgery, but you're here, and I appreciate that. Why did you need a second surgery?
Well, first, I'm down here because this is the MMA Hour, and I was like, you know what, Mom? My mom's here helping me out. She flew in from New York, so I'm really, really lucky to have her. And so I got showered, I got my boot on, and I got help down the stairs, and now I'm here. I wanted to make sure it was a legit background for you.
Thank you.
And so the reason why I got my second surgery is, so in the fight with Uriah Hall, broke my leg in half, tibia and fibula gone. They decided to put a rod inside the tibia bone, screws up top, screws down low. And they left the fibula bone completely alone. The fibula bone is the small bone in the back. And they felt like at the time, because there was so much trauma, I had a compound fracture, the bones had gone through the calf muscle. They're worried about infection. The main priority was to fix the tibia bone because that's the bigger bone and that's the weight bearing bone. So they thought I was healing up well. They were looking at, the doctor looking at the x-rays. I ended up getting some different doctor opinions on the x-ray, and they just felt like possibly the tibia bone wasn't healing properly. And they recommended getting a 3D reconstruction CAT scan. So we got that done. This all took about 3.5 weeks, and I'm like trying to stay calm because, one doctor's telling me that I'm good. Other doctors are saying, you might need another surgery. And all different types of surgery they were talking about. So there wasn't really one answer. They got the CAT scan back, and basically, to make a long story short, after going back and forth with different doctors from the East Coast to the West Coast, they believed that the fibula bone was non-union. So it wasn't healing properly. It was basically like there was a gap here. And there wasn't really any signs of healing going on there. They were a little bit, they were like kind of off like this, and there was a gap. So basically we decided to go in and plate it. It was supposed to be like an hour and a half surgery, put a plate over it. Conor McGregor had a plate originally from the start, just because his was lower on the ankle and he didn't have a compound fracture. So they just went with it. So they decided it was supposed to be an hour and a half surgery. It ended up becoming 3-hour surgery because the fracture was bigger and worse than they thought. And they had to put 2 plates on it, one going up and down, one going across. So,
Damn.
I literally have more freaking metal on my lower leg than I have bone at this point. It's crazy. So I'm going to be good to go. I already feel so much better.
Really?
Than I did. Yeah. I just feel way better mentally than I did even like before the surgery, just because when I started getting back to doing things and I started going to the gym, I was going through a lot of pain. I was trying to just push through it. I was being told that the more I do, the better, more blood supply, more blood to the area, more work, more time I'm up on my feet, the better for it. So I was going through a lot of pain, and it got to the point where it just really didn't feel like it was getting better. Like every time I would try to walk normal, I would have this crazy aching pain in the back of my calf. And, it was just, it was just messy. And the fact that they were saying I was fine, I was just like, man, okay. And I'm just going to keep pushing through. But then we found out that it wasn't actually healing properly.
Knock on wood. Are they saying to you, all goes well, like that's it for the surgeries? Because I remember when we spoke the first time after the injury, you said there's a chance, there might be, they have to see how it heals. Now, do you feel like if this continues to go as you're feeling now, that you're done with surgeries as far as this injury is concerned?
Yeah, I think I'm done. Only possible other surgery, I think, at this point would be if the metal on my leg became too annoying, all the plates, they could possibly take that out after the fibula bone is healed. So that is a possibility. Sometimes you have no issue. Sometimes you could have an issue with it. So I just got to kind of wait and see. That would not be a big surgery, apparently.
Okay. Off the top of your head,
a long recovery.
Right. Off the top of your head, what I don't know if a lot of people know this. We've talked about it a little bit in the past. So this past surgery, in total now, how many surgeries has Chris Weidman had in his life?
25. This is my 25th surgery.
That is wild, man. That is wild. Yeah. You ever have it like this time? You're walking. I think it was maybe June when I saw the video of you walking. Was it June? You had the injury in late April. It's June, you're walking. Holy smokes, we thought you'd be, on crutches for months. And now, okay, I know you say you're feeling pain, your gym stuff, but like the news that, okay, I have to go under the knife, and then the idea of like that recovery and being at the hospital again, like how did you deal with that? Because it's a setback in some respects. Did you feel depressed? Did you feel I'm going to get through this? How did you internalize that news?
Going into the second surgery?
Yeah.
I feel about
because it felt like you were turning the corner there for a second, and then there's a bit of a setback.
Yeah, I think the hardest part was being in limbo for that 3-4 week period where they were kind of like, some doctors were saying I should get a surgery, some weren't, but we had to get a better like X-ray through that CAT scan to really find out. So that just took longer than I'd like to, and I just wanted to know one way or the other what the hell the deal was. That was tough for me to deal with, and then so. Going through that last surgery of mine, obviously breaking my leg, and then, everything that went with that, the pain, and then the physical therapy afterwards, that was the most painful thing I've ever been to in my life. I've had like neck surgeries, shoulder surgeries, hand surgeries. I've had some bad surgeries. There was nothing even close to the pain I was dealing with after that. So going into another surgery, I honestly was scared. I did not want to go through that type of pain again. And thank God it wasn't even close to the same type of pain. I guess because of how traumatic that injury was, just from, that kick being so explosive over Uriah Hall's leg, that really just was so much damage. There was just so much damage from being stabbed from the inside out, with my jaggedy bones going through the skin. And I guess everything that happened with the surgery, it was just super, super painful. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And so going back into another surgery where they're going back into that area, I was worried. But this has not even close to the same pain. So I'm grateful for that, but it was scary.
I was telling someone about you recently and about the injury that, a lot of people heard about it who aren't MMA fans. And the question they asked me was, which is obviously impossible for me to answer. So wait, he wants to keep doing this? Like he's working to actually go back after that and after that kind of injury? Do you still want to keep doing this? Like you obviously want to get back to 100%, but like the idea of fighting again, this still intrigues you.
Yeah.
It still interests you.
I love fighting. I love competing. It's what I'm best at. I love going to the gym. I love, sparring and working out the guys and doing all the different, competitive stuff on a daily basis. It's what I love to do. And listen, if my body was the point where it was like, all right, you can't do this anymore, I'd be done. If I felt like I was going to the gym and going with top guys and I just wasn't able to do the things I used to be able to do and they were beating me, I wouldn't just go into the cage to collect the paycheck and get beat up. I feel great. I felt great before this last fight. I felt amazing. I felt like, I'm the best in the world, and I was ready to have some big moments. And so I'm going to do everything I possibly can, taking day by day and, day at a time to get back to that spot. And I'm just going to try to control all the things I can control. And when I get back in the gym and they say my leg is fully healed, and I'm able to do things the way I was just doing it, pre-April, I'm 100% fighting. And right now that's where my mind's at. But if for some reason I get back on my feet and they're like, hey, this is the best it's going to be, Chris, and I'm not able to do the things I used to be able to do, I can't grapple like I used to, and I can't strike like I used to or move like I used to, I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm not gonna go in there and just get embarrassed. So yeah, unless I think I'm the best in the world, I'm not gonna fight.
Does that worry you? Do you even allow your mind to go there or not yet?
No. I'm honestly just getting to the point where I was walking before this last surgery. I know I was having pain moving around. I still feel like it's going to be there. With this fibula being fixed, and everything healing properly, I think I'll be right back to where I need to be, and I'll be able to deal with anything I need to. I'll kick someone in the head. I'll kick someone's leg again. I'll let them kick me. I don't care. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. But that being said, if my body's not responding, if it's something that's impossible to do, I'm not just going to be going in there to get beat up. I'm trying to have some amazing moments. I'm trying to create some great moments, and I really believe I have some great moments left in me inside the UFC. So that's where my head's at, and I'm just going to take a day at a time and get through this and stay positive. Yeah.
Zhang Weili recently did an interview. I don't know if you saw this, where she said that she gave you a fist bump right before, and then seeing you guys, I think, were in the same locker room, and then she gave you a fist bump, and then she sees you get injured, and then she's next, and she said that it messed her up in her fight. You saw that?
Yeah, I gave her the bad juju. Yeah, I mean, I remember hanging out in the locker room, and everyone, when you're in the locker room, you got to give people good energy and good vibes. And yeah, I remember her, give me the fist pound right before I went out. And yeah, I mean, listen, that was a super traumatic moment for me, and I think anybody probably watched it, people in the stands and stuff. It wasn't. And people want to compare. I'm guessing you'll probably even get to this, but with Conor McGregor, his was like kind of over time, slowly happened, and then they stepped back and it broke. Mine was, we weren't even sweating yet. There was no adrenaline going. I was fresh. It was the first strike of the fight, full force, everything I have. And it was traumatic, I think, for everybody to see that happen. So listen, I think it would probably mess with anybody a little bit, but that being said, like, you don't want to make excuses like that. I'm sure Rose, I'm friends with Rose. I love Rose. I'm sure she was upset when she saw me do that, but you got to get right back. You got to get right back to getting in your own head and being ready for your own fight.
But it is an interesting point. It's actually one that I mentioned on the night, different than the Conor fight, which obviously didn't happen at that point, or the Anderson injury, which was like the Conor fight and the Anderson fight. That was the last thing, right? Like the night ended. And even for me, and I'm not competing, but sitting at home, it was like, wait, okay, so like now we're just moving on to the next fight. In the past, we've seen these moments in the main event. Like now we have to move on to the next fight. I can't even concentrate on this. And so to hear her say that, and I know some people will be like, oh, you're making excuses, blah, blah. No, that makes total sense. She was just in the locker room with you. She gives you, a fist bump. She's about to defend her title. You're the previous fight. It's totally understandable, in my opinion, for it to rattle a fighter who's going out 5 minutes after you're being stretchered out. It actually made total sense to me.
Completely understandable. And I'm sure she's being asked questions on why, and she's trying to figure out reasons on why she lost. And that 100% was something that was in her head and something that she thought about. It wasn't a positive. You want all positive vibes, you're walking out, there's a lot of negative thoughts you're trying to deal with. And to have to deal with something like that definitely sucks. And it's not like she's lying, saying that rattled her. I believe her 100%.
And so what's interesting is you have you're a very positive guy, way more positive than I am or will ever be. And so there you are at home. You're not
super positive.
I'm the least positive.
Especially about not being on the desk anymore.
Well, that's different. That's me trying to convince myself. I'm just joking. I'm joking. Listen, you make this podcast while you're at a commission. You go with the name Won't Back Down, which obviously is kind of the title of your career. You walk out to that song. It's one of those songs that will forever be linked to you. There's a few guys who have those songs that are forever linked to them. But also the sort of impetus of it all is like, you won't back down. Like you're literally talking to people who have overcome things. It's a brilliant idea. How did this idea come to you?
Well, I think I always had an interest in, just conversation and talking to people. And the podcast thing was kind of always in the back of my mind as something I would like to do. And then, after that injury, knowing that I was going to have a lot of time that I had nothing going on, and I was going to have to fill my mind and my time with something valuable and something that is positive. I thought, what's better than, talking to other people about, different setbacks that they have had in their life and ways that they have overcame it while I'm dealing with, everything that I'm dealing with. So it was a way to inspire me. And then also I know like a way to inspire other people. I mean, I think that's probably one of the things that, a lot of fighters, me included, you don't say as much, but like really the goal of this whole thing, for me from the get-go is to get big enough to where you can inspire people, and, create a better world. And so the fact that I'm able to talk to different people with my platform and create a podcast and just chill and have a relaxed conversation with different successful people that have had setbacks, which is pretty much anybody. Everyone's had tough times. I just give them an outlet to talk about it. And it makes me feel better to hear other people having issues. You don't feel so alone. And it's been awesome so far. I really enjoy doing it. And I actually, I had to take 2 weeks off with the surgery and this week. But I really look forward to getting back to it.
And your first guest is none other than the guy you'll always be linked to, Anderson Silva, who suffered the same injury. I mean, it was a perfect booking. As someone who has to book his own show each and every week, I can respect a good booking. That was the perfect way to come out. How weird was that for you to speak to that guy who you knocked out and then had the injury? I mean, like the whole thing was just amazing. How weird was the actual conversation for you?
So originally I saw he came out on Instagram or on social media and said some really nice things, prayers out to me and my family. It felt really awful. And then his management team reached out to my management team and he got on the phone with me, got my phone number and we spoke. And, I was in the back of my wife's minivan. I was in crazy pain. I might've been like 3 or 4 weeks out. And here I am talking to pretty much my nemesis, someone that, obviously I beat twice, but even though I beat him, like people hated me for beating him. He was the GOAT, and the way it happened, both times people weren't really happy with, they just, couldn't really wrap their head around. So it was always kind of like a thorn in my side too. And I'm like, you know what? After talking to him on the phone, he was just so awesome about it. He made me feel so much better about my injury and where I was at. I was like, I gotta get him. I want other people to experience this conversation because it's helping me so much. And I think it could help other people. So that's pretty much why we decided to have that podcast. But it was like nerve-wracking. It's the first time I'm doing a show. It's with Anderson Silva. We didn't have the best relationship. We'd done tons of press conferences and different autograph signings together. And we kind of always, we were just very competitive and neither one of us wanted to lose. And so there was always weirdness between us before each fight and after the fights. So it was weird to all of a sudden, be there talking to him. But it really I think made me a better person, the way he was able to let go of losses. I know what it's like to lose. It's not the easiest thing to want to talk to someone that you lose to, and to, give them a platform with yourself. So he's just a very humble, great human being. And now I'm like a huge fan of him. I honestly, when he just fought Julio Chavez Jr., he looked amazing.
So good.
I don't know what happened to Logan. We're going to go on Anderson Silva talk here, but he looked so good in that boxing fight. He made 180 pounds?
Yeah.
So lowest he's ever fought in I don't know how long. His footwork, his motion, his taunting abilities, the way he made a world champion boxer look out there. No MMA guy has ever even came close to doing that while crossing over to boxing. I was begging. I saw that they were talking about Logan Paul fighting.
Yeah.
I was dying to see that because Logan Paul will get destroyed by Anderson Silva. Now I see he's fighting Tito Ortiz. And I just know he's making great money. And it's a great time for him to be in the boxing world. And I'm happy that he's, doing what he loves and able to capitalize on it.
Why did you feel the need to apologize about 168 to him?
Well, because the pain that I went through and the pain that I was going through at that time was excruciating. The pain, not just on me, but my family. The fact that, I couldn't do anything on my own. Everyone was just doing things for me. I hate that. It was honestly terrible. And when we fought and his leg broke, I felt terrible at the time. I did. I tried to, call him the day after, get in touch with him through Ed Suarez. I know a lot of people they like to clip the part of when I break his leg and my arms go up in the air and I start circling around the octagon, and then they clip it as if I was happy and I knew that his leg broke. And to clarify once again, watch the whole damn thing because I broke his leg. I had no idea I broke his leg. I've never even seen that before, that someone's leg is, going to break like that. It didn't occur to me that happened. I just thought he got hurt because when you do check a leg kick, which I was working on a lot because if you watch the first fight, he did kick the crap out of my legs. I just thought I checked it good enough. I thought I did. At that point, we're already around the half in. I was doing good. I already dropped him once and was, beating him from the feet to the floor. I just thought it was just too much, and he went down. He was in pain, and the ref stopped it. I didn't realize his leg broke in half. So I circled around. Then I heard this screaming going on. And that's when I went over to him, and I saw his leg being held. He was trying to hold his leg together, and that's right away. I was like, man, I felt awful. I went and got his cornerman into the octagon because the security guards weren't letting them in. And I'm like, bro, this guy needs somebody around him that actually he knows. And I was trying to get them in. And whatever, I felt terrible. But that being said, as bad as I felt, weeks went on, months went by, and I wasn't thinking about it every day. I wasn't really thinking about the recovery that he was going through. It was hard to empathize with somebody when you never went through something like that. I had no idea. So the fact that I was actually going through it, now I had an idea and I could empathize, and I felt terrible. And one of the thing that I apologized about, which is something that he thought was stupid and didn't think I should apologize for, but I felt like I just needed to get off my chest because it did bother me, is that I was champion, and then I'm doing autograph signings, I'm doing appearances, and all the fans want to take pictures with me. Now I just broke Anderson Silva's leg. Everybody wants to take a picture of me with me checking their leg kick, and that's like the fun thing that they want to do. And for the majority of I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. It's disrespectful. But over time, I'm like, you know what? All right, here we go. Go ahead, throw the leg kick. And I took some pictures like that. Not that I even seen any surface or anything, but I knew that I did. And it bothered me that I even took a picture like that, because the fact of knowing and understanding what him and his family went through after that, it was different to me. And then I just felt terrible that I even made any type of joke about it.
What a bizarre thing to ask someone. The people actually asked you to do that?
Oh, yeah, of course.
What?
Of course.
That is the weirdest thing. Who would want to do that?
Bro,
like a lot? Like more than 5?
Oh, bro, tons.
What?
Tons.
That is
tons.
so strange to me.
Tons. I'm sure there's listeners here, MMA people that have asked me.
Oh, my God.
The majority of them I told no.
I could see them maybe asking you to sign the picture, like the famous picture or whatever. I could see that. But to recreate, I'm sure you have to sign the picture as well, right?
Yeah. Pictures, whatever. It just depends. I mean, I'd be out random places, and that's one of the things people, instead of just doing the picture with the fist up, it was, they wanted to pretend like they're getting their leg broken.
Jeez, that is horrible. That is just very, very weird. What a strange thing. So in your mind, perfect world, have you even allowed yourself August of next year, September of next year? Like, do you even allow yourself to think of a month, or is it way too early?
It's still too early. I'm going to take a day at a time. I'm going to get back as fast as I possibly can, but being smart about it. And we'll see. We will see where we're at. I don't think this is going to take as long as people think. I'm staying in shape. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to stay, work no matter what. I'm this morning stretching, and yesterday I was working out. I mean, I'm trying to do as much as I can to stay in shape. My weight, I'm keeping low. I'm on good diets. And I really think, I don't know, maybe like 3 months I could be back in the gym feeling great.
Wow.
So, because my tibia bone has now been healing since April. And that's really the biggest deal. That's the biggest issue. The fibula bone is not as big of a deal. Hopefully 4 weeks I could start actually, putting weight on it without a boot. And next thing I know, I'll be up on my feet working out, boxing. And then eventually I'll get to kicking, probably, a month or two later. And I'll get right back into it, man. So I'm going to come back, man. And I feel like it's going to be an awesome splash. I think it could be inspiring for people. I want to fight someone good. And I want to just create an amazing moment.
Well, this is the scene that I'm going to put out there into the universe. Let's say fall of 2022.
That's too far.
Okay. I was just trying to be a little conservative. Summer 2022.
Spring, summer 22.
Spring, summer. Okay, wow. Spring, summer 2022. The brand spanking new home of your New York Islanders, Belmont Park. Main event, the return, the homecoming. Don't say you want to fight in Charlotte or something like that. The return on the island.
There you go. Back down.
No, I won't back. And here he comes, the pride of Long Island. The pride. What was the name of the town that you went to school? Baldwin, New York. Baldwin. I mean, he'd been through so much. Hurricane Sandy and the shoulder and the late notice and Damian Maya and the towel sticking to him with the static and Anderson Silva. Everything that this man has been through, they've counted him out time and time again, and he is going to walk through that curtain in front of his own people, in front of the own crowd. Long Island, New York, Belmont Stadium, home of the Islanders, main event, live on ESPN. Christopher J. Weidman walking through. No, I won't back down.
Look at the armpits.
No, I won't back down. Chris, I love you. You're the man.
Love you too.
Thank you for doing this. God bless.
That was awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much. That's going to happen. I appreciate it.
I see it. I feel it, and I believe it. Best of luck to you. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you guys for all the support. I really appreciate it. And take care, buddy.
All right, there he is, the one and only Chris Weidman, joining us, the legend, the former UFC middleweight champion. Pictures right over there, knocking out Anderson Silva, UFC 162. What a time to be alive. Las Vegas, 2013. We're approaching 10 years. We're getting so old, but could you imagine that? Like, if the stars can align, that he fights on Long Island, not MSG, because MSG, It wasn't very kind to Chris. But Long Island was kind to Chris. I'll never forget when he fought Kelvin Gastelum, July of 2017, I believe it was, on Fox, main event. Remember that scene? That was a great fight. That was an amazing fight. Kelvin Gastelum, of course, fighting this weekend against Jared Cannonier. What a great scene that was. They've got this new stadium opening for the Islanders. If they can, and I know it's hard sometimes to have the stars align. If they can align the stars to have him come back at that arena, that would be, I mean, that would just be magical. One of the true great guys in the sport. The podcast is great. He's a great interviewer. You know, sometimes you have athletes who are not good interviewers because they're used to fielding the questions themselves, talking about themselves. In this case, Chris does a great job, so I highly suggest you check it out. All right, let's go to our next guest now. He is the pride of France. 2 weeks ago in Houston, Texas, he won the interim UFC heavyweight championship. He is undefeated. He is a rising star. He's only been doing this for 3 years, and it appears as though he's on a collision course with his former teammate, Francis Ngannou. For now, though, let's go to the Zoom machine and say hello to the new father, Ciryl Gane, who's kind enough to join us. My man, Ciryl, how are you?
I'm fine, and you, my man.
I'm doing great. By the way, thank you so much for joining us. I love Bon Gamin as a nickname, but I don't know if you saw this. I want to give you a new nickname. Let me know what you think of it. I want to call you the French Prince. The French Prince, Ciryl Gane.
French Prince, you like it?
I like it. What do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, this is a good nickname. I prefer to have this nickname like more humble. Like Bon Gamin, like good kids. I prefer that.
Okay. Well, you know why the French Prince, right? Like the Fresh Prince, Will Smith. You know the show? The Fresh Prince?
Okay,
French Prince, you get it?
Sorry.
Come on, man. Come on.
Man. Sorry, man.
I know you're down.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good, right?
That's
Yeah, yeah, Carlton. There you go. This man knows. You're down. Listen, you could run with that. Your management, you can sell the t-shirts. That's on me. That's on the house. Okay. You guys can do whatever you want with that. It is great to have you on. Félicitations, not only on the belt, but on the baby, my friend. Is that your first child that you just had?
No, this is my second daughter.
Okay. Wow.
This is my second daughter, and we just arrived yesterday at home, so everything is okay. We are really happy to have her with us, and everything is nice, my man.
What was it like preparing for the biggest fight of your life as you're expecting a baby? There's stress involved in that. I know you're not actually the one delivering the baby, but still, there's a lot going on, a lot of changes. Was it a stressful time for you, the preparation for this fight, or was it, were you able to be shielded from all of that?
Yes, it was not really easy. At first, when the UFC called us for this fight, my first answer was no, family first. I mean, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's too close. And after a few discussions with my wife, with my team, with every people around me, every people told me, "Yo, my man, you did a lot of sacrifice for this fight. Let's go, my man. This is a big opportunity, and no worries. Your daughter gonna waiting for you, and she waiting for me. So I'm really happy for that."
It's what a time. I'm sure you'll never forget any of this. Do you feel right here and now like you are a UFC champion? You know the interim title. You know this fight. It was a little polarizing, a little controversial because of Francis and everything he just fought. Do you feel like a champion, or will you only truly feel like a champion when you get that undisputed title?
I must to beat Francis to be the real champion, for sure, 100%. This is an interim belt, so I'm really happy about that. This is really nice. This is awesome. But to be the real champion, yes, of course, I must to fight again against Francis, and I must win for be the big champion, of course. Yeah.
Where's the belt now?
In my car.
In your car? What's wrong with you, man? In the trunk? What is it doing? You don't have it like on a shelf or something next, on the fireplace? What's going on?
Yeah. I disrespect a little bit.
Come on.
Belts, but no, because I was on my way for some people, and I was really I don't have the world, but I want to be that
Busy.
really quickly for the interview.
Oh,
exactly.
okay. All right. Fair enough.
And that's why.
That's my bad. All right. So I'll blame myself for that. But I saw a video that you posted, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. All these people showed up to the gym for you. How many people showed up?
Yeah. I don't know exactly, maybe 500 or 600 people. I don't know exactly, maybe more.
Wow.
But it was a lot because you must need to have the I don't have the good word in English, but the pass sanitaire.
Yeah. Oh,
so
because of COVID.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
expected really less people, and wow, it was a really great surprise. People are really happy about that.
What was it, like a homecoming, a celebration for you, a party in your honor?
It was yes, it was. I want to give this present for every people support me. This is my present. Like I did in the cage with Fernando Lopez. This is our job. This is how built. That's it. And I want to do that also with the people support me. That's it.
It felt like there were more people there than when Leo Messi showed up for Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like there were more people for your thing. I mean, it was unbelievable.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
You're a bigger deal in France than Leo Messi. Ciryl, you should say that. Put that on the shirt. Don't be humble anymore. You know what I'm saying? By the way, speaking of sports, I saw some footage of you. You're a really good basketball player.
Oh, yeah. I like every sport, but I did a lot of years in the basketball. Yeah. I did really great, but I was not prepared to be a real professional.
Was that
it was just for
fun?
For the fun.
Okay, so
yeah, exactly.
but when you were a kid, was that your first dream? Did you want to be a basketball player?
No. At first, it was the soccer.
It was football.
Yeah, football, exactly. I was a really good player in the football, but same. I don't want to be a big professional. I don't want to be an adult before. I don't want to be a big professional. This is too much pressure for the young people. For me, it was too much.
Really?
That's why I just want to play. Yeah, but I think it was a mistake a little bit. Yeah.
Why?
But no, not really, because today you see we can talk together, and I did what I did in the UFC. But I'm a really great athlete, and I'm really I have this IQ in every sport, and I think if I did more years in the football, yes, if I did a choice, what I did for the MMA, I think probably will be a professional in soccer or in basketball too.
Right. I wonder if the reason why you say that, I don't know if you saw, but a lot of headlines recently because you told, I think, a French outlet about what you made for the fight, your pay. And so do you feel like, if I would have gone down the soccer or basketball route, I would have made, I'm such a great athlete, I could have made more money doing that as opposed to this?
Yes, probably in the soccer, yes.
Yeah.
Of course, in the soccer, the pay are really crazy.
Right.
That's really crazy in the soccer.
Why did you feel like you wanted to reveal all of that? A lot of people don't like to talk about what they make for a fight, but you talked about it, which I respect you for, and I give you a salute. But why did you want to talk about that?
For me, it's not a secret. If the people want to know how much I had for the bonus, everybody can know that. So for me, it's not a surprise. I'm not like the French people. Like no, I don't want to talk about my money, and so. No, that's okay. I can talk about that. But yes, I saw on the media a lot of people put this on the headline because the people think I'm not happy about that. No, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. You have a tax like every job, and you have a team. The team spend a lot of time with you.
Yeah.
My coach don't throw his daughter during 1 month.
Wow.
For me, for Nassourdine Mavov, because he was really busy, and so that's normal to bring that for my team. So everything is correct. And after that, yes, the dollar you translate in the euro, yes. So, but it's a game. That's okay. And I just started there 3 years ago, so no worries. This is the beginning of my career.
Of course.
So no worries for. Yeah.
So there's a lot of excitement surrounding you because you're such a great athlete, because you're undefeated, because of who you've beaten and how you've looked in the UFC. But also, as Dana White said in the post-fight press conference, Vince McMahon himself of pro wrestling couldn't have scripted a story like this. You versus Francis, the two Frenchmen, former teammates. How would you describe your relationship with Francis right now?
Right now, we are really not close. No, because Francis is not this kind of guy, and also when I arrived in the MMA factory, we already to live in Vegas.
Okay.
So there 3 years ago. So that's why we are not really close. And I met him when he coming back for a camp for Overeem, another fight. So yes, we did some sparring together, but. He is really more close than with Fernando Lopez than me.
Okay.
That's for sure. Yeah.
So would you say you were never close? You were never friends? This idea that you were friends and all that, you just kind of trained together, sparred together, but you were never like buddies.
Exactly.
You didn't go out to eat together, hang out, things like that.
No, never. No, never. Never. He's not this kind of guy.
How many times do you think you sparred against him?
How many times? Maybe 10 times, no more.
Okay. Do you think, I don't know the answer to this, do you think you were part of the reason why he left the team?
I know. Can you repeat the question? I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you think you were part of the reason why he left the team?
No.
Okay.
No. He left already when I arrived in the factory.
Okay.
So no.
This fight, though, and I guess his relationship with Fernando Lopez, who has talked to even our site, MMAfighting.com, about, he didn't love the fact that Francis, this is what Fernand said, didn't give credit to the coaches and the people who brought him up. If you fight him, is this a personal fight for you? Like, do you feel like you need to beat him for Fernand? Do you feel like you need to do it for your coach?
No. No. That's a little bit funny because when I sing it with the UFC, every media asks me, "Yeah, you and Francis Ngannou, that's not my deal. That's really not my deal. I just want to do my thing, and I think I'm a great athlete, and I did well, and I want to do very well tomorrow when I'm gonna fight against Francis. I just want to do that with the good feeling. I'm not this kind of guy. I'm not jealous. I don't have a bad feeling in myself. And when you see me, you know. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna fight Francis. I'm gonna fight like I fought against Volkov or Jairzinho or every guy, Derek Lewis. That's another opponent. That's it for me.
If it was up to you, when would this fight happen? What month?
Can you repeat?
If it was up to you, if the UFC said, "All right, so Francis is ready," but we want to know, you just fought. What would be best for you?
Since 1.5 years, I did a lot for the UFC, and for me, I fought a lot. I did a lot of camp, and I just want to rest a little bit with my second daughter. It's not easy to manage.
Of course.
That's really not easy. I can feel it. It was my first night yesterday, and I forgot what is it.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm gonna manage this. I'm gonna do some little bit rest, and maybe this hand of this hand of 21.
Okay, so December, you said? Is that what you said?
Yeah, December, or maybe January.
Okay,
February,
gotcha.
Around this.
Have they told you that you are definitely fighting him next, or do you think there's a chance they might try to do Francis versus Jones and then the winner fights you?
Oh, I think everything is possible.
Okay.
Everything is possible with the UFC. I don't know exactly what the UFC want, but I think I'm more legit for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you need to have the unification. I think this is make more sense. But everything is possible. I don't know.
But if it was up to you, the next fight for you would be Francis, right? You fight Francis.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, it's the next step, of course.
That has to happen in France, right?
If it's possible, hopefully. But I don't know if it's possible. Yeah, I don't know exactly because it's a little bit complicated. I don't know exactly because I know when you have a big fight like that with the big belt, the prime time is Vegas. So I don't know exactly what the UFC want to do. It's going to be complicated to manage this in Paris, maybe, because probably we're going to fight at 6, 7 a.m. But everything is possible. He did it already with Abu Dhabi, but it was a little bit special. I don't know. So you say I don't know exactly for them.
You were much younger the last time you sparred him, younger in your career. Still, do you feel like the idea of fighting Francis, you feel confident against him?
Yes, I'm confident with every guy. I proved it today. I did really great. But I just studied the MMA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that because I got this fight IQ, I can understand what I'm aware. Not because I'm just a good athlete, not because I got a good skills. No, I did it because I got a good fight IQ. So tomorrow, and when I started because before the MMA, so now that 3 years ago, but before that I did 3 years in Muay Thai, and it was my first experience in the armor show. And when I started, I was really young, no more experience, and I did very well because I got already this fight IQ.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why today I think everything is possible against Francis. I think it's going to be my big matchup.
Yeah, of course.
My harder matchup. Yeah. But I think everything is possible. I'm confident.
Honestly, though, if someone would have told you 3 years ago when you started in Montreal, by the way, my hometown, je viens de Montréal.
Yeah.
Vous savez?
Oh, je savais pas.
Ah oui, je viens de Montréal, Québec.
Okay.
J'aime bien que vous a commencé votre carrière en les arts mixtes martiaux à Québec. Vous aimez Montréal?
J'adore.
Moi aussi.
J'adore. I love it. I love Montréal, yeah.
If I would have told you, though, 3 years ago in Montreal, by the way, Ciryl, I looked into the crystal ball. 3 years from now, you're going to be UFC champion. You're going to be on top of the sport. You're going to be, this close to a super fight again. Would you have believed me, or did you think it would take a little longer? 3 years.
A little bit longer.
Okay.
A little bit longer. Yeah, of course, a little bit longer. Of course, we didn't expect that. No, it's impossible. UFC is it's a big promotion. You have a really high level. When you say the name, Derrick Lewis, Volkov, Jairzinho, Junior Dos Santos, my man, that 3 years ago. if you tell me that, no, it's like, no. Let me do my thing a little bit more here. But we did it. So that's why I'm confident today against Francis. Everything is possible.
Right. Derrick Lewis is from Houston. He represents Houston very well. I think that you like Houston rap more than Derrick Lewis does. That T-shirt, that's a Houston. Yeah. What is going on here? Are you just trolling Derrick Lewis? What's happening?
Oh no.
You're just like sticking it to him one last time.
No, this is not the disrespect. No, really. No. Because I got my shoes and this is much good with my shoes. So that's it. Huh?
Respect. You came out to the song. Everyone was excited, and you're like, "Oh man, this guy."
In Houston, you have a big. This is a big city of the rap music. This is a really big city. You have a lot of artists, and when I was young, I listened a lot of songs in the rap music, and that's why I have this a little bit. This is a little culture of that.
I love it. I love that we're learning more about you, your basketball skills, your love of hip hop. You're a very interesting guy. By the way, I love French basketball. Evan Fournier, he's my guy. You know Evan Fournier?
Oh, yeah.
That's my guy. He's on the Knicks now. They made it to the gold medal game against the U.S. It's a big time for French sport. You got Leo Messi coming to Paris. I mean, it's exciting times.
Yeah. this is this is exactly. I like to say that this is a little country, huh?
Yeah.
France, the French country. This is a little country, but in the sport, seriously, we have a lot of stuff.
So
In the MMA, in the hand martial, in the K1, in the kickboxing with Jérôme Le Banner. This is a former champion, but we have a new champion. In the football too, Thierry Henry. In my country, seriously, this is a little country, but in France, we have a lot of talents in the sport.
But let me tell you something, Ciryl. There is only one French prince, and it is you, my friend. Okay, you stand above the rest. The French prince.
Okay, I'm gonna do a t-shirt for you.
Yes, let's go. The French prince. I love it. I love it. My friend, congratulations. Félicitations on the baby. Number 2 on the belt. You versus Francis. You versus anyone right now. I'll watch you versus anyone. It's a pleasure to watch you fight and to see you grow.
Yeah.
And it all started in Montreal, so I love that as well. Thank you for doing this.
Anyone, anywhere, like you.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, man.
I know it's a very busy time for you, so I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
No, with pleasure, man. Pleasure.
All right. All the best.
Thank you for your invitation.
Absolutely. There he
Bye-bye.
is. The French Prince, Ciryl Gane, the new interim champ, joining us, the IC champ. Whoop, kind enough to join us on the show. And so it's going to be interesting to see what the UFC does there. Do they go in the direction of, they could do no wrong at this point. Do you try to do the Jones fight and then, he wants a little bit of time off? Do you try to do, say, Jones and Ngannou? Can you figure that out for December and then he fights the winner? Like I wrote on my Substack, there's a precedent there. Remember, Robert Whittaker fought Yoel Romero 2017. They didn't do the unification bout with Michael Bisping. They did Bisping versus GSP, who we'll be talking to in about 30 minutes. They did that fight. And so Whittaker wasn't stripped. It got a little weird afterwards because GSP won, but he had to vacate, colitis. So they did that, and the interim champ stayed the interim champ. So there's a precedent there. Of course, there's a precedent for anything in the UFC because there's no real rules. They can do whatever they want. It's their promotion. There's no sanctioning body or anything like that. And so it's going to be interesting. Or do you just go to the route of that fight? And that's a big-time fight in its own right. That is a big-time fight. It would be amazing if it could happen in France. Usually a pay-per-view in Europe isn't great. They did it with Michael Bisping in Manchester. What was it, back in 2016? Dan Henderson, the rematch. They did that, of course, to have the homecoming fight for the new champ, Michael Bisping. So it has been done, and it was successful. It was in the middle of the night. It was like 4 a.m. I didn't go to that one because my daughter was actually about to be born, my sweet Claire. So we didn't go to that one. But it's been done. Or do they do it in Las Vegas and just get all the buzz and all that stuff? We shall see. But nevertheless, he is a big-time name, a big-time talent, and to do what he has done in 3 years is nothing short of amazing. To beat the guys that he has defeated in 3 years is really nothing short of amazing. So thank you very much to him. Great first hour in the books. A little later on in the program, we're going to be joined by Mr. Gamebred, the pride of Westchester, Miami, Florida. One of the faces of American Top Team, one of the leaders of the great American Top Team gym in Coconut Creek, Florida. We're also going to be joined by the one and only George Rush St-Pierre, the pride of Saint Isidore, Quebec, Canada, of course, has fought many a time in Montreal and currently lives there as well. But in a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by the face of the PFL and also a member of the aforementioned American Top Team gym, someone who fights tomorrow. So like I said at the top of the show, this is fun. Monday only show, you're not getting fights typically on a Tuesday other than Contender Series. But now, Wednesday show, you're getting fights on a Thursday, and we could talk to people right before they fight. How fun is that? That's different. That's fun. That's unique. That gets me excited in the morning when I wake up. PFL on ESPN and ESPN Plus. I don't always know. Is it ESPN? Is it ESPN Plus? It's one or the other. It's ESPN Plus and ESPN. Beginning at 9 p.m. We've got the women's lightweight semifinal and the men's heavyweight semifinal. Those are the two divisions in focus, if you will. And the main event features Jenna Fabian, who is a very tall young woman, 4-1 as a professional. Do I have her 5'9", looks like she's 6'3" in the stare down, going up against Kayla Harrison, who is okay. There's no way. I mean, was she wearing high heels? What was going on over there? Why 5'8", 5'9" against 5'8"? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, do we have Kayla? Are we still framing her up? Okay, still working on that. Thank you very much, Frank. Anyway, in a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by Kayla Harrison, who has an unbelievable skill set, unbelievable background. Of course, two-time Olympic gold medalist, 10-0 now as a professional, has done amazing things in a very short amount of time. But let's be honest, the talent pool at 155 pounds isn't the deepest. I mean, heck, it's damn near non-existent. 145 isn't the deepest. And she has dabbled in the featherweight waters as well. That was in Invicta when PFL took their 1-year hiatus. But the big story here is she's got 2 fights left on her PFL contract, the semifinal and the final, and then she's a free agent. And I would venture to say, given her background, given her skill set, given her resume, given how good and dominant she is, and given the fact that there aren't a ton of women in her weight class, 145, 155, all that, who are anywhere near as good as she is, and who could, by the way, cut a promo as good as she can, I would say she is going to be one of the most sought-after free agents that we have seen in quite some time. And so without further ado, let us go to the Zoom machine once again and say hello to the aforementioned Kayla Harrison, who is kind enough to join us following the weigh-ins. There she is. Kayla, how are you?
Good. How are you, Ariel?
Oh, it's so great to talk to you, Kayla, again. It's always an honor. It's always a pleasure. You just weighed in this morning, correct?
I did, yeah.
What's so funny? Why are you laughing?
You're just so hospitable.
Well, I am very... it says our meeting is going to end in 10 minutes. That's not a good thing. Is that really going to happen, guys? I hope not. We've got Kayla Harrison here, the two-time...
I don't know.
What?
We're having some technical...
Was that for me?
Is that on your...
I don't know. We're about to find out. If not, we'll reconnect.
Okay.
And I know you've got a ton of interviews today. First, can I just say this, Kayla? I want to say something to you, and I want to say something to the public as well. This, as I drop my pencil here, this is very important for me to say. You are a member not only of PFL, but you are represented by Dominance MMA, correct?
Correct.
And I used to have a tremendous relationship with the leader of Dominance MMA, Ali Abdelaziz, the well-known manager. Had a very good relationship with him for many, many years when he was managing guys working WSOF, et cetera, et cetera. In 2000 and I do believe 19, for whatever reason, I have my theories, that relationship disintegrated to the point where he told all the fighters at Dominance MMA to not speak to me anymore. They are not allowed to speak to me. Now, they speak to me privately, but they can't come on my show for whatever reason. I think they're losing out more than I am, but the fact remains I would love to have them on. He has said, you cannot talk to our fighters. I'm going to ban you from talking to our fighters. There's one fighter on that roster of maybe 70 fighters now, one fighter who, pardon me for saying, has the balls to say, I am the actual client here. I am the one paying my management team. I do whatever I want. I'm a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, for God's sakes. I'm an undefeated MMA fighter. Put me on this camera right over here. I am the freaking woman. I tell you what to do. There's only one on that entire roster of legends who tells them what to do and who comes on my show and talks to me. And that's why I don't care if I'm a journalist or not, Kayla. I don't care if I'm supposed to be unbiased. I'm a fan for life because I respect you so much for doing what you're doing, for having a spine, and for sticking up for yourself, and honestly for sticking up for me. So I just want to say thank you. It means a lot to me whenever you come on the show.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got that off your chest.
I've wanted to get that off my chest for 2 years now, Kayla. But unfortunately, at my other job, I could not do that. I couldn't break the fourth wall like I can now. And for you to say, because let's be honest, it has been said to you not to come on my show, and you have said, no, I call the shots here. I do whatever I want. I can't tell you how much that means to me. I can't tell you. Honestly, I am forever grateful for you.
Well, I'm glad. You're welcome. It's not really, I mean, I like you, Ariel. I think you're great. For me, it's not really personal. This is business, and it's in the best interest of me to go on your show. It's mutually beneficial, and I guess, yeah, I kind of do what I want. No one really tells me, I mean, besides my coaches, what to do. So if I want to talk to someone, I'm going to talk to them. There's not really, and I don't mean that in like a, look, I love Ali. We have a great relationship. It's nothing personal to anyone. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do.
No, I know. And I'm not trying to put you in an awkward spot. And just even for the record, I told you beforehand that I wanted to bring that up because it just means a lot. And I'm not going to harp on this anymore. The whole thing is ridiculous. It should end. He unblocked me. I don't know if that's a sign of good things to come. The thing couldn't be more dumb. So let's not harp on it anymore. I just wanted to get it off my chest.
I've been told that there's no drama from him. You've said there's no. This is just like one big drama.
What are we doing? Yeah, what are we doing? What are we doing?
You need to.
We need
have a romance and hug it.
we need to hug it out. Two Egyptians. We can hug it out over some hummus. Okay, so let me. I'm my dad from Alexandria, Egypt. I think he's from Alexandria too. In any event, I saw this stare down yesterday, Kayla. There's no way she's an inch taller than you. Was she wearing high heels? What was going on over there?
No, yeah, she was not wearing high heels. She's just a big girl.
How do we feel about that?
Big trees fall hard. I'm excited.
Talent-wise, is she one of the better strikers you would say that you have fought?
I think so. I think her striking's gotten even better. She looks sharp. She looks crisp. She's got a good record. She's everything I want in an opponent.
Okay. Did you even know who she was before this tournament?
Well, I was supposed to fight her in 2019 in the semifinals then, but she had to pull out because of a bad weight cut. So I actually ended up fighting the only girl she's lost to, Bobby Joe, who is also a 6-foot-tall southpaw striker. So I feel like, yeah, I know her. I've been watching her. I've been prepared for this. I'm excited.
But let's be honest, there's a massive talent gap between you and the rest of that weight class. At this point, are you ready? Like, okay, let's get through these two fights. Not looking past anyone, but let's just get through this. And 2022 is going to be my real, test, my real coming out. Is that how you're feeling? Because you're an Olympian, for God's sakes. I mean, you want to be challenged.
I'm an Olympic champion, but no, the focus is what's in front of me. I think, of course, you have big dreams, you have big goals, you have things that you strive towards, but in order to get to where I want to go, I have to take each step, and this is another step along that path. So I'm not focused on next year. I'm not focused on the finals. I'm not focused on anything but Jenna right now.
Have they even tried to broach that topic with you, or have you said we're not even talking about it next year, new contract, all that stuff? Yeah,
they reached out to Ali and said that they wanted to start negotiations, and then I said okay, and then they asked me today not to talk about free agency, just focus on the fight, and I said, well, okay, but send me an offer, or we all know what's going to happen. So.
And what's that?
They need to send me an offer. It's not in my hands. My job is to fight. That's it. I know that if I fight well, do my job, go out and instill my will, that good things will happen wherever they may be.
But you know that the good things happen if you're 12-0, right? Like, it's a big difference between 12-0 and 11-1. So do you feel any little extra added pressure in these last two fights?
No.
How are you so damn confident?
Have you ever been in an Olympic final?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in an Olympic race?
No, I have not.
I don't know if there's much more pressure than that. I'm sure like surgery and stuff is a lot of pressure, so maybe that, but I train very hard. I train hard. I work hard. I believe in myself. I have all the keys to success.
All right. Has the pressure in any of these fights, maybe the first fight that you ever had in MMA, maybe one fight has it at any point reached the level that you felt in the Olympics, or does this all kind of feel like cake to you?
I was pretty damn scared my first fight. My first fight was pretty intense just because it's the unknown, it's the, what the hell am I doing? Why did I sign up for this? Oh my God. Pretty intense. But since then I've kind of learned to control my nerves and calm the quiet, calm the storm. And no, I feel like a professional now. I feel like how I did in judo. I got to the point in judo where I was in so many finals. I was competing all the time. I was repeating this process over and over so that it became my normal. Being in a high pressure situation became my normal. Being in the finals with, everyone watching became my normal. And that's how I feel in fighting now. I feel like this is my normal.
Do you love MMA?
I do.
Why do you smile when you say that?
Because, I mean, it's just like such a bizarre, my life is a very bizarre story where I didn't really ever expect to end up here. I always used to say that judo is my love, judo is my passion, and judo is my first love. It'll always be like my first boyfriend, but MMA is like my forever love. I don't know if I can quite describe it. It's, there's something very, it speaks to the warrior in me or something, to go out there and to try and be the very best possible version of myself inside of a cage versus another human being. I don't know, there's something, maybe I was a gladiator in a past life or something, I'm not sure.
The reason why I asked that question is because when you did the press conference, I remember after your second gold medal, you weren't that into this thing. So, like, are you surprised at how much you love it?
I am. I'm pleasantly surprised by how I found my footing in MMA. I didn't really think it was going to be for me. There's a lot of trash talk. There's a lot of negativity. I feel like there's a lot of bad vibes that can be swirling around in here. It's also a little bit like the Wild Wild West, and there's money involved, so people get nasty and greedy, and it's just kind of like, it can bring out the worst in people, but in my experience, I found it to bring out the best in me. I found the right place, I found the right coaches, I found the right crew, I found a home for myself and for the way I choose to live my life, and it's brought out the best in me.
So we have this weird thing with, we're a new operation here. We had 3 years off. I don't know if you know this. We're going to call you right back because our thing is about to end. I'm sorry for this. We will get you out when you need to get up, but I don't want to cut you off mid-sentence. So I think that they're going to reconnect with you here. If you could just go back. What do I tell Kayla, guys? I don't know what to say to her. This is a little embarrassing. What do I say to her? We're going to call you right back. I don't know how you call someone on Zoom, but we're going to reconnect with you. Okay. We're just a little operation. This would never happen. No, I'm just joking. This is, if you only knew. I remember the time that, the phone numbers. Yeah, that wasn't fun. We're going to reconnect. We're going to reconnect here in a second with Kayla Harrison. Zoom is a new thing. When we did the show back in the day, there was no such thing as Zoom. It was a new thing, that only really emerged in the last year and a half or so. Thanks to the pandemic, of course. I love her confidence. I love her fighting ability. I love her promos. I'm just going to tell it like it is. I root for Kayla Harrison, and maybe I'm biased because, hey, she helped me out, and I'm a human being. I'm not a robot here. I have feelings and emotions as well. And so when someone sticks their neck out for you, you want them to succeed as well. And this is this is Helwani. This is independent. I have love for everyone. I mean, if Dana White wanted to sit right here, I would give him a hug, for God's sakes. I would kiss him on his forehead. I got love for everyone. Ali as well. Come on, let's hug it out. Life is too short for this nonsense. YOLO. Anyway, I think we're back with Kayla. She is joining us via Zoom. Okay, we're framing her up. My bad. Yes, I have love for everyone. There's no hate in this heart. There's no hate in this heart whatsoever. I mean, do I... No, there's no way. I'm just kidding. So that's tomorrow, by the way, on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Bellator on Friday, UFC on Saturday. So one of those rare weekends where we get three of the best promotions in the world, arguably the top three, competing in consecutive days. Back to Kayla, as we just had to take that little brief pause for station identification. I always wanted to say that. Hello, Kayla. Welcome back.
Hi.
Can I ask you about the
Olympics? About now.
Oh, I was just saying that I love everyone. If Ali came in here right now, I would say, you know what you did to me was pretty damn crappy over the last 2 years, but I still love you. All right, I still want to hug it out with you, even though you're saying you want to ban me because
all love, Ariel, all
love. It's right here, as Mazzagatti would do. Right there. It is. We're parents, Kayla. You and I, we're parents of multiple children. We don't have time for this nonsense. We don't have time to get.
There's no time for drama, and I feel like you set a good example when you teach your kids to love your enemy or love your neighbor and let the past be the past. Forgiveness is a very powerful weapon. Yeah, it really is.
In fact, when I heard that Ali was in the hospital with COVID, I sent him a message and it never went through because apparently he blocked me on his phone. I mean, could you believe that? Oh. In any event, Kayla, Olympics, Tokyo, that was weird, right? I couldn't really get into it. It just felt there was something sterile and just sort of off about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of our team, Team USA, but I think, yeah, it was a very different time. Definitely not anything like what I experienced. I'll say that much. Very different.
Did you talk to any of the Olympians? Are you in contact with any of them? And
yeah. I mean, I have really good, one of my best friends competed in judo at the 52 kilo weight class. I didn't really talk to her about her experience, but I'm sure it was different from when she was in Rio.
Right. Did you miss when this was your first one in 4 Olympics, right? Dating back to that you weren't a part of. Was there a part of you that's like, oh, I kind of missed that, or you're done? Like it was out of your system, all good?
No, it's out of my system. I definitely had nostalgia. I went back and rewatched some of my Olympic matches and relived my glory days for a little bit there, but I'm very happy with my career. I'm satisfied with everything I was able to accomplish and on to new mountains.
I promise you, friend to friend, that I'm not trying to stir the pot here by asking you this question, but I do think it's interesting. I just want to ask, it feels to me like when you think of the Olympics, you have fond memories, you're proud, you look back with a smile on your face. And part of that is probably because you made history. 2 golds. Incredible, right? When the person that you've always been compared to in MMA, Ronda Rousey, speaks about the Olympics, there's a lot of venom talking about Team USA and the Olympics and what they left her with and all that stuff. Do you think that is solely because she didn't win gold like you did, or do you think she has legitimate gripes?
Well, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, when you compete at the Olympic Games, you do it for your country, you do it for the love of the sport, you do it for the desire to be the best in the world at what you do. You don't do it for fame. You don't do it for like any of those things. You do it for a gold medal that goes around your neck while you hear the national anthem and watch your flag being raised. So I understand why she's a little bit jaded. I understand like getting a $25,000 check and a pat on the back can be harsh, but you kind of like, everyone knows, I don't know any rich Olympians, do you?
Only from after the fact, like from stuff that came afterwards. Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I think my mentality is just different. I'm grateful for the opportunity. It gave me a life I never dreamed of. I'm also grateful to represent the greatest country in the world. And I got to do what I loved and win America's first gold medal. I mean, that's history. I'll be a part of history forever, no matter what. And
then you went back to back, which obviously had never been done before. And so I'm wondering, like when this fight is announced, when any of your fights are announced, I don't see Kayla Harrison showing up on SportsCenter to announce her fights, but yet there's Claressa Shields on SportsCenter to announce her fights. I mean, what's going on? You have the same amount of gold medals. You have more MMA fights. Why aren't you on SportsCenter to announce your fights? Right or wrong?
Are you just here to stir shit all day today?
I got your back, Kayla. I got your back. I'm saying what you maybe don't want to say. I could say this now, right? Am I wrong? Why aren't you on SportsCenter to announce your fights? It's an ESPN.
I think. I don't know.
Did that annoy you?
No. I mean, listen, first of all, when you get bitter and stuff about things like that, and when you think, oh, why not me? It should be me. I've done this. I've done that. Look at me. You kind of take your eyes off the prize. And I've seen it happen countless times. I've seen fighters make the mistake. I've seen people in my gym make the mistake of worrying about what somebody else is doing. It's just a waste of time. I have a job to do. I'm not on SportsCenter. I'm not, at the ESPYs. I'm not doing all of these crazy things, but I'm in the gym. I'm working hard. I'm being a good mother. I'm doing what I love around people that I enjoy being around. And I'm keeping my head down. And I know that when the time comes and when it is my moment, and my moment will come, everyone will say, wow, damn, look at Kayla H. It's coming. I'm not in a hurry. Good things take time. It will be there. And also, I'm proud of Claressa. I admire her as a human being, as a fighter. I think that strong women build strong women up, and I would never want to take away from anything she's accomplished. To me, that's amazing. Everything that she's done is amazing, and I have nothing but respect for her. Her journey is her journey. My journey is mine. We'll get to where we get to.
What do you think of her debut?
I was a little, she has holes. She has holes.
Expected?
I think they were expected. I think I was surprised a little bit. I think I don't know. My mentality was just always to be as prepared as possible for whatever challenge I get myself into. So I was surprised she took the fight so quickly after transitioning to MMA. I expected her to train for a little bit longer. I think it's a very tough task to be boxing and doing MMA at the same time. I think she's going to have to devote a lot of time to her grappling game if she wants to be one of the best in MMA. And I don't think she's going to have time to do that if she continues to box professionally. So that's my opinion.
So you think, in other words, like it would probably be best to pick a lane, right? Because boxing training doesn't necessarily help you for MMA.
Correct.
It actually could maybe like impede your progress, right?
I mean, obviously doing martial arts is going to make you better at martial arts, but this isn't just boxing. It's martial arts. It's a very different world when you step into that cage. Anything can happen.
It's interesting that like the lighting, I don't know if you can see yourself, but it's like going straight down the middle of your face here. I don't know. There's like, it's not moving. And I like that it's not moving because it reminds me of like the lit up side is mom, Kayla. The left side is the one dropping those promos on people. I mean, you have dropped some of the best promos. And you and Sean O'Connell are great because he asks you a question and you always give him the like, that was a really stupid question. I'm going to sort of, humor it, but I've got things to get off my chest. Right? Like you guys have a great dynamic there. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, man. I think he's doing a superb job at what he's doing now, by the way. I love him as play-by-play. I think he's doing great.
He does not get enough love in the world of sports, and we're just like the little train that could MMA. But this guy is a fighter going to play by play. It's not fighter going to analyst. That doesn't happen in other sports. Athlete going to play by play. So he deserves a lot of love. But is this all Dan Lambert? I mean, does he literally sit with you beforehand and say, this is what we need to do? Or is this coming from the heart? What's going on? Am I giving him too much credit?
Dan Lambert wishes he was as cool as me. Are you kidding me? I write Dan Lambert's promo.
Oh, I love it. He had a good one recently. AEW. Did you see it?
That was his Olympics, Ariel. That was his Olympics. That was his moment. He told, first of all, he was like rapid texting me, like, I'm going on at 9:30, like letting me know. He's like, you got to watch. Wait till you see this. And then he does this whole nerdy like spiel about all these wrestlers and this and that and Japanese and all the styles.
Yeah,
and blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, this guy, this is his moment. And afterwards he told me, I actually was like, Dan, I'm happy for you. If you're happy, you are the biggest nerd I've ever met in my life, but I'm happy. And he was like, oh, you want to hear a funny story? And I was like, yeah, please tell me. So he starts talking about how they prepared all of this, because wrestling isn't real. And
how dare you? How dare you? There's kids watching this right now. Would you say that about Santa Claus? No. We prefer scripted.
Okay, sorry. Wrestling is a performance.
Thank you. Even better.
And he said I had to tell the guy that, I don't know, whoever hit him or whoever got in the ring with him, he said, can you do me a favor? And the guy's like, yeah, what's that? He's like, when you elbow me, I need you to really elbow me.
Oh my God.
What? And he's like, everyone at my gym will give me shit if you don't really give me the business. And I was like, oh my God.
That is amazing.
You are like an 80-year-old man getting in there, getting dropped by an elbow. Like, this is not good.
I loved it. I love it. And I think he's coming back.
He's going back on, yeah, and he's bringing some muscle.
Wait, he said 2 champions. Are you one of them?
I am not.
You wouldn't be caught dead over there, right?
He's not bringing in the real muscle. He's bringing in
the lesser. Okay. He's not bringing Colby, is he? I mean, that's.
I don't think so.
No, I know. I was just joking there. You don't like pro wrestling. If they ever came to you, would you consider it?
They actually reached out to me after the 2016 Olympics.
Really?
Yeah. But at the time, it was like, there were two things that I really didn't like. Number one was I would have to be on the road for 4 days a week or something like that. Like, it's a lot of travel. And number two, you're not in control of the script.
Right.
Fake. So they would say if I was a good guy or a bad guy, and I said, I'll just be me.
Yeah. And if you ask me,
I'll fight for real.
And if you ask me, you're a very good guy. Good gal, of course. A baby face. You stand up for what's right in the face of evil each and every week, Kayla. And you are doing incredible things. Jenna Fabian, Kayla Harrison, this Thursday night, tomorrow night on ESPN and ESPN Plus, the 4-1 Fabian from Australia going up against the 10-0 two-time Olympic. What's that?
She's from New Zealand.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Fighting out of Australia. That's what it says here.
She trains at City Kickboxing in New Zealand.
Yeah, but where's she from? Like, I live in America, but I'm from Canada.
She's from New Zealand. She got mad when they said
really?
She's not from.
Okay.
I'm just like, hey, I just want you to be a good journalist.
You know what? I appreciate that. You know what? New Zealand. Yeah. Look, I got false information here. I'm going to blame. I blame Greg Savage of the PFL for this faulty information.
I blame him for everything.
Thank you so much, Kayla. All the best. You can't wait for not only the fight, but the post-fight promo as well. And if you want to shout us out here on this program, we're just trying to get it off the ground on ESPN, no less. That would be pretty damn cool.
What's this program called?
It's called the MMA Hour, and don't you forget it. You were in studio right here not that long ago. Come on.
Just kidding. All right, Ariel. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Thank you.
Take care. There she is, Kayla Harrison joining us. She's very busy. She's got a lot of interviews lined up. And she is great. What more can you say about her? She is great. She returns to action tomorrow night on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Just trying to see if there are any other names. Yeah. I won't say the website that had Jenna Fabian as an Australian. I'm not gonna throw them under the bus, but it appears as though she is a fighter from New Zealand. So my apologies to her for that. The stare down was, it was a pretty large discrepancy there in terms of height. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, we have, like I said, Bellator on Friday, UFC on Saturday, and then the big one is SummerSlam, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. I'm going to Las Vegas tomorrow for the first time since March 8th, 2020. Can't believe it. Covering SummerSlam. That's going to be a lot of fun. Main event for the UFC event is Kelvin Gastelum versus Jared Cannonier. Later in the program, two guests left, two massive names, Jorge Masvidal and George St-Pierre. Sandwiched in between there will be a little Ask Me Anything segment. I haven't come up with a better name than that. AMA, as the kids say on Reddit. I found a lot of good Reddit pages recently, a lot of them pertaining to MMA. There's one that I like a lot. It is very, very entertaining. Shout out to them if they know who they are. Shout out to them. I go there I'm a lurker. I'll be honest. I'm a lurker, but I enjoy what they put out very much. And so I did this little Ask Me Anything. Let me just send this. I think we need a new on my Substack page. And I got a lot of great questions, but I just kind of skimmed them and in no particular order. Do I need to send the new link to George, or do they have them? Oh, okay. All right. We got Frank back there. Audio Frank does a great job. Whole new team, but actually a lot of familiar faces, so it's great. It's not like you have to reinvent the wheel and teach someone how to ride a bicycle again. Again, I don't know how, but I've been told it's pretty easy once you jump on there. So anyway, on the Substack page, I asked people for questions, and there are a ton there, well over 100. So that's very exciting. I appreciate that, and a reminder that we're back. We're back on Monday and Wednesday. This is going to be the usual schedule every Monday and Wednesday. Way back in the AOL days, we used to do it Monday, Thursday. In fact, there's a very fun episode where Phil Baroni, the New York badass himself, co-hosted the show with me, and I think my memory is maybe a little bit off here, but I actually think that Josh Barnett was on there. Am I crazy? It was definitely in the AOL days. Baroni was there. This couldn't have been later than 2010. And it was a wild time. We did that only for 6 months. I don't know why we stopped. Maybe Brian remembers why we stopped. But I'm very much looking forward to this new flow of Monday, Wednesday, mainly because, like I said, on Monday, in case you missed it, like I don't have to load the deck for one show on Monday and then worry about, another show in 7 days. You have a few longer interviews on one show. You go back to the next show on Wednesday. If you can't get someone for Monday, you have the Wednesday option as well. And so that just makes for a much, much better booking experience. And I think a much better viewing experience for all of you. Less guests, longer interviews, in-depth chatter, but twice a week. Like, what do you do when you're done with the show on Tuesday? You got nothing else. I am here to save the day. Seth Rollins is the Messiah of Monday nights. I'm the Messiah of Monday and Wednesday afternoons. Self-anointed. All right, so in a couple of seconds, we're going to be joined by George St-Pierre. I'm going to take some water here. Been talking a lot for the last hour and a half. Been in the news as of late a little bit. There was some talk of him going up against Oscar De La Hoya in a boxing match that ended up being Oscar De La Hoya versus Vitor Belfort. Triller. Would have been fun. As the story goes, and I want to get the story from the man himself, still under contract with the UFC, so couldn't do that. Although recently we saw Chad Mendes get the green light to go to Bare Knuckle FC. They will do this. They'll pick their spots. A lot of this has to do with the class action lawsuit, so they can point and say, hey, look, we let this guy go. We're not a monopoly. We let this guy go. We let this contract up. But it's all very strategic. George ain't getting that kind of love. Chad Mendes, maybe there's not a lot of money to be made right now. All right, you could go out and do your thing. It's all very strategic. Like Conor ain't getting out of his contract to go do a boxing match. They'll co-promote, but he ain't going on his own. So it's like, oh yeah, Phil Davis, we'll let you go Benson Henderson. And they've done a phenomenal job of always knowing when to say when. If you look at the history, even recently with Pettis and McDonald, it's like always knowing when to say when. That's talent evaluation. That's good scouting, if you will, knowing where a guy is at. There have been very few, I can't even think honestly of one instance where they have let a fighter's contract run out, I should say. I'm putting myself on the spot here. And the fighter signed elsewhere. Dan Henderson. And enjoyed some success. Maybe he's the one. I'm trying to think. Maybe someone on Twitter can tell me, or maybe in the YouTube chats, but that could be a bit of a mess as well. But there have been very few few instances where someone's contract okay. All right. Someone's contract ran out, and they regretted it. So look, this is the way the sport is built. This is the way the sport is structured right now. It's a lot more like pro wrestling in the sense that you're tied to that contract and that promotion, as opposed to boxing where you can go around and around. And now we're seeing situations like Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva and Tito Ortiz enjoying some financial success. Vitor Belfort going over to boxing, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, that Triller event on September 11th, the top two fights, 3 out of the top 4 fighters of the card are MMA fighters. Anderson Silva, Tito Ortiz, and Vitor Belfort. It's a crazy thing. But that's the way the sport is. And so without further ado, let us go back to the Zoom machine and let us say hello to, in my opinion, the greatest MMA fighter of all time, the pride of Saint Isidore, Quebec, Canada, the man who won the middleweight title at Madison Square Garden, the longtime and greatest welterweight champion of all time. And I don't care what Kamaru Usman does in his career. He will never hold a candle to this man, George Rush St-Pierre. There he is. Look at this guy, the one and only George St-Pierre. George, salut. Comment ça va?
Bonjour. I'm doing fantastic yourself. You put the bar a little bit too high.
No.
Ariel.
You're too humble, George. You're too humble. You're the man. Where are you in Florida right now? I mean, is that weather in Montreal? It's beautiful over there. What's going on?
Man, I'm home in Montreal. That's Montreal here. That's where I am.
Well, it looks fantastic, that setup that you have over there. Thank you so much for doing this, George. Our first week back, it wouldn't be the same without you. You are a legend in your own right, and I think you're the greatest of all time. A lot going on that I want to ask you about. Yes, go ahead.
Congratulations to get back on your show. It's a great way to promote fighters, promote their thing, and thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you, George. That means a lot to me. Okay. We thought for maybe a second there were some rumblings. Let's get right to it. No more dilly-dallying. That you were going to fight Oscar De La Hoya. What happened? Tell us the beginning. Tell us the whole story here. From the moment you were contacted about this to the moment that you realized it's not going to happen. What exactly happened?
So I was contacted by Triller to do a novelty fight against Oscar De La Hoya at 170 pounds. With big gloves. It would have been 14 or 12-ounce gloves. 8 rounds of 2 minutes. 2 minute the rounds. And I thought it would be a fun thing to do. My career as to prove that I'm the strongest man in the world in the sport of mixed martial art is done. I'm 40 years old. But to do something different, something that could be fun and very motivating for me. And plus, on top of that, a lot of money would have been given to charity against a legend in his sport as Oscar De La Hoya. I think I would have done it. I think not because I believe I'm a better boxer than Oscar De La Hoya was when he was in his prime, but I do now believe he probably have more mileage than I do. I'm in great shape. I'm younger. I used to compete at heavier weight class. I think it would be a fair fight that the fans would have want to watch. So, because I'm retired of the sport of mixed martial art, but I'm still under contract with UFC. I needed to have the blessing of Dana White. I called Dana. I even called Lorenzo to try to convince Dana. Lorenzo liked the idea, but Dana did not want it. I know he hates Oscar, but I said to him, listen, I'm going to make Oscar look bad because I'm in great shape. I've been staying in great shape the whole time. And I'm going to do a full boxing training camp with Freddie Roach and his world champions there. So I'll be very well prepared. And he didn't like the idea that Triller take some of his fighters that he he took a lot of time to trying to promote them and make money out of them. That's the argument that he gave me.
Did you did you push back? Did you argue? Was it a debate? Did you give it the old college try? You really wanted this?
Yeah. Well, at first he says to me the reason why he did not want it's because he thought that Oscar would basically destroy me in a boxing match. And I had some good argument. I told him that I believe Oscar has more mileage than I do. He's no longer in his prime. I stayed busy the whole time. I'm still in great shape. I'm going to be very well prepared, and I'm taking this fight very seriously. If I do it, because it's my name, my image is attached to it, so I will do it 100%. And I told Dana, I said, if there's one MMA fighter that can go to boxing and make and look good in this situation, it would be me. Because we see what happened with Ben Askren and some of the other guys. And at first he refused. Then he thought about it, but he came back with the argument that, now it's not because he thinks Oscar gonna win. He thinks it's because he doesn't like the fact that Triller take me and make money out of my back, even while I'm still under contract with UFC.
And so is that when
So what Dana says, listen to this. Then he came back and he asked me if I wanted to fight Khabib. And I told Dana, I said, that's very strange. Why you didn't want to do the fight when we asked you few years ago. Why is it now? And you know what I mean? He said, yeah, because Khabib was not retired and he was not the same guy that he was. Now it all makes sense. So I didn't want to, but I was curious to see what would have happened. So I said to him, I said, I'm going to think about it. And I wait. Turns out that then shortly after I saw in the media, people saying that, now Khabib he doesn't want to fight me because I asked for the fight with Khabib. I never asked for the fight of Khabib. It's Dana White that probably went to Khabib and Ali Abdelaziz and tell them that George wanted to fight Khabib. We asked a long time ago, but I didn't ask again. I didn't beg for that fight again. We both retired and I'm good. So I believe the strategy behind it, because that's what I thought it was happening. Dana White had a lot of heat for not letting me fight from the media. So he asked me to fight Khabib because he was expecting a negative answer from me. So he would have had a good argument, a good reason saying to the media, George refused to fight for us, so I'm not going to let him fight for someone else. So that's for the reason I wait to see what happened. And that turns out that I was right, I believe. So the Khabib refused, but I didn't mean that I was going to say, yes, the promoter, that's how they do. They make money out of it. You know, promoter and a lot of manager, they have percentage of the money. So they make money out of fight. That's what they do. And we know Dana is probably the best promoter of all time in terms of how to promote a fight. So he probably went to Khabib's team and says, George want to fight you. This fight going to be blah, 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 exciting, and try to make it happen. Right? And it turns out that it didn't happen.
So in a way, you almost called his bluff. You say that you're sort of interested. What would have happened if Khabib said yes and then they came back to you and said, all right, he's in, let's go?
No, I didn't want it.
But do you even think that they would have? Do you think that they would have even explored it, or do you think they had no real interest in even making this fight?
If we both have said yes, I think they would have done it. If we both have said yes, however, Oh,
that's quite the cliffhanger right there. He paused right on me there. Okay, remember that thought. If we both had said yes, I need to remember that thought. I have a horrible memory now. I'm getting a little bit older. But we have to all remember that collectively. If we both had said yes, I mean, that's quite, in my mind, I actually blame myself for this moment right here now, because I was saying to myself, holy smokes, he's outside. The connection is fantastic. I mean, has there ever been better connection than that in the history of Zoom? He looks like he's in a phenomenal setting. I don't know if that's his backyard. I don't want to pry. But I'm from Montreal. You don't get weather like that all the time. It is August, so it's a little bit different. And I was actually just thinking to myself right then and there, this is great connection. George St-Pierre, great connection. And then of course that happens. It didn't happen last. Did it happen last Monday? No, it didn't happen. So, we were bound for one. This is the beauty of live video. But very interesting stuff there. We're getting into it. He's explaining to us what happened, because I did hear afterwards about the whole, George now wants to fight Khabib. And this seemed, something was rotten there in the state of Denmark, because it seemed a little bit suspect to me that all of a sudden, the situation was, okay, all of a sudden now he wants to fight Khabib. This seems a little bit weird. So we're getting a bit of the background here. Now we're being told that perhaps his phone died on us. Hopefully it's not some other, factors getting involved here, because it's going straight to voicemail. Just our luck. But we'll get him. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get him. We're going to get him back. George probably has a lot of different devices. No problem. This is why we've got a bit of the pad time, as they say in the business, on the back end. So he's rocking the karate combat hat there, I do believe. He's been doing some work for them as a sensei, a seasoned sensei. Yeah, I just texted him, and the blue is not going through. So clearly his phone died on us, which is just amazing. He's probably plugging it in and getting back on track. This is why it's probably good that if I should send. Now it went through. It just went through, delivered. So what's happening now is plugging it in Everything jumps, when you replug in your phone after it dies, everything's like jumping out, blah, 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 scrambling. And then he's going to join us like the mensch that he is. And by the way, at 3:30, we're going to be joined by Jorge Masvidal. He'll be our last guest of the day. Already have some guests, by the way, booked for next week as we try to, get ahead of this thing. Of course, you can't get ahead of it too much because you want to actually see how the fights play out. And next week's a big week as well. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. I don't know if you heard about that fight. That's Sunday night in Cleveland on Showtime. But there's also the Edson Barbosa Giga Chikadze fight. We've located George. I don't even remember what I said to myself. What was I lost it. You see? Can anyone remind me what I said? I don't even remember. He'll remember. It was something about Khabib. What did I say? What was the key word? I should have written it down. Such a failure. I remember it was something about Khabib, but now I forget. As the great Gus Johnson once said, these things happen when you're doing a live show via Zoom. But how great is this studio, right? I mean, look at this new addition right here. Shout out to the Blue Jays. Go back to the Zoom machine. You don't want to hear about me talking about the Blue Jays anymore. He's good or not? Not yet. Yes? No? I wasn't sure. Go. Yeah, he's good. All right, let's go back to the Zoom machine and say hello to George. Let me guess, George. Did it die? Did the phone die? What happened?
It did not die. There's, in Montreal, we normally don't have that problems, but apparently it eat up.
Oh,
it eat up.
No.
So, yeah, because I kept the phone there for too long, so the sun eat it up, and I was not in the shadow. The phone wasn't on the sun, under the sun.
Okay.
So it eat up, and it turns off.
Okay, well, we're good now. Thank you for scrambling through that. You were saying about Khabib. Do you remember what you were talking about or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
So I catch Dana White's bluff. That's what happened. I think not that it was a bluff, but that the main reason why he wanted to do it was because of the heat that he received from the media, and the fact that also maybe he wanted to make an extra money, try a home run because he knew Khabib and I were retired.
So the last thing that you said, thank you to my friend Sean for this, you said, I think they would have done it if we both said yes. However, and that's when you cut out. So if you would have said yes and Khabib would have said yes, you actually think they would have been sincere in their attempt to make this fight happen?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. It's for money.
Yeah.
The goal of a promoter is to make money. And I think they knew it was the last one. They would not have done it before because they thought they could have probably keep Khabib for more fight. They rather make less but more fight with him than one big fight and that's it. That's what I believe.
By the way, behind the scenes, I know you have a good relationship with Khabib and Ali as well. Did you talk to them and say, hey, what's going on here? Like, did you try to go behind the scenes and see what was going on, or did you kind of stay quiet?
No, I didn't talk to them. I'm a good relationship with Khabib and Ali. Ali, a long time ago, when I didn't have the money, we were training in New York. I was staying at his house in Brooklyn.
Wow.
In the same area where apparently Notorious B.I.G. was living.
Wow.
So I know Ali for a very long time. We go back a long time. But I didn't call him because I thought it was Dana that's trying to. I think Dana said something to them to try to make the fight happen, but I should probably tell them the truth and say, hey, by the way, if Dana call you, or because the way Dana approached me, he approached me saying that Khabib was waiting for an answer, so to speak. That's not how he said it to me, but he said it like the deal was already accepted on Khabib's side. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna get back and give you an answer. That's why I thought it was strange because I heard in media Khabib was saying, there's no money in the world that can make me break the promise I made to my mother. And I think it's a very noble thing to be strong while most of people are driven by materialism.
Yeah.
I think it's something that it's a very noble thing. So that's why I thought it was strange. And I waited. I told Dana, I said, I'm going to wait and I'm going to get back to you and tell you an answer. So I was waiting to see how this thing will play out, and that's what happened.
So this idea of you boxing, was this something that was on your mind, or did Triller just come to you with this idea and then you started to think about it?
No, that was not something that was on my mind at all. It's just my favorite boxer in the world, number one, it's Sugar Ray Leonard. My second favorite boxer in the world is Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if, let's say when I'm going to get older, I can look back at my life and saying, I was champion in mixed martial art and I had an opportunity to box against Oscar De La Hoya in a novelty fight. Plus also, you have to remember that the rules were different. The bigger gloves, smaller time, the round was shorter. So the risk of injury are very minimized. I mean, there's still a risk. It's a dangerous sport, but I would have described it as a hardcore sparring, not really as a real fight. So that's one of the reasons I would have done it.
You mentioned that there was a charity component. What was that all about?
Yeah, big money. When I talked to Mr. Khan and Oscar on the phone, because I was on the phone with them before, I said that because a lot of critics are given to these kinds of fight, because now it's more about entertainment than to really know who's the best boxer in the world. And that's not why we were fighting for. There were not any title. We were fighting purely for entertainment. And I thought that to prove to the audience that we don't take ourselves, I mean, it's a serious fight, but that we do it. We come out for a special event, for a novelty fight. I thought it would have been I suggest the idea that we should do it for charity as well, to give a big part of the benefit for money. And they like the idea.
Now there's this whole thing, as you just mentioned, about the YouTubers, the boxing, the MMA fighters going. How do you feel like the Jake Paul fights and Logan Paul? You like this sort of thing? Tyron Woodley fighting him next week. Are you a fan of this or not your style?
No, I'm going to watch it. I think there's room for it. There's room for wrestling. There's room for boxing. There's room for mixed martial art. There's room for entertainment. Now I think it's a new thing that is happening. Soon, and mark my word, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Soon we will see two celebrities going up against each other. Maybe two celebrities that has some kind of fallout going up against each other. And people will turn in.
Yes.
People will tune in to see, because the promotion of a fight is always driven by emotion. People are curious. They want to see what's happening. So that's why I think it's going so well for these kinds of entertainment. And I think UFC, it's all about who's the best, the strongest man in the world. But and normally boxing, like when you watch Deontay Wilder against Tyson Fury, it's to a legit title. But this is something different. It's a different kind of entertainment.
So now that the idea has been put in your head and you've thought about it and you feel this way about it, at some point before you get to 50, you'll always be in incredible shape. Do you want to have this boxing match? Like, now that it's actually been a thing proposed to you, is this something that you would like to do before your time is done?
Well, now the element of surprise, I would say the thing has been stolen. I mean, it's not stolen, but I made a joke to Victor Belfort. Victor Belfort is my friend. I said to Victor, "Hey, you stole my fight. You stole my fight." But I'm very happy for him. He was able to do it, and I wish him the best of luck. And I'm gonna tune in to watch it, and I hope it's gonna be a good show.
But what about you? Do you want to have one of these fights?
Maybe. Let's say if Oscar, I'm cheering for Victor because Victor is a friend of mine, but it's something happened and maybe Oscar will win or something happened like that. Maybe I'll get Oscar after. We'll see. I'm still under contract for I think another year or two with UFC.
Okay.
But I'm not going nowhere. If the idea interests me still, when I'll be 41, 42, maybe I'll jump back in it.
So that's really interesting. You're not tied to them, even though you have fights left for life. At some point, the contract expires and you will be free, as you said, in a year or two to do your own thing.
Yes, exactly. It's a few years after I retired. Now I'm going to be free. And when I say free, I'm always going to be a competitor. You know, I might do some grappling tournaments, but I think when it's done for a good cause, I always like to give certain amount of money for charity when something like that it's done, because my career, like I said, my serious career, I mean, it's always serious, but when I'm talking about legacy, title, it's done. You know, I will always try to show up 100% and fight to the best of my ability if I do something like this. But I'm aware that probably my best years are behind me. So you will not see me anymore competed for a mixed martial art title. You know, you might see me for a grappling event, a modified boxing rules event, something fun like this, that it's, of course, still dangerous to do. I might do it just for the kick of it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I know there's a lot of money being thrown around. They were probably offering you close to what you were making in the UFC to do this. Am I wrong?
No, not as much. No.
Okay.
I would have made, for example, in my last fight with Michael Bisping, I made a lot more money than what I would have made for Oscar De La Hoya, but still it would be still a lot of money for 8 rounds, 2-minute fight. It's a lot of money, you know, and it would have been against the legendary Oscar De La Hoya. So the experience, the money, if I count the pros and cons, it would have been worth it.
I don't know if you saw this, and no one is on your level, George. In my opinion, no one is close to you. But Chad Mendes was recently let out to go do bare knuckle. And so people said, oh, why was Chad allowed to do this and George wasn't? Did you see this?
No, I did not. I didn't know. But maybe his contract is different than mine.
Okay.
And maybe he's able to get free. You know, Ariel, a lot of people have suggested to me to hire some lawyers and to go fight UFC for this, but I didn't want to do it. You know, I didn't want to spend time and money and energy to hire lawyers and to get into that sort of thing. I'm an happy man, you know. Yeah. If the opportunity presents itself again, maybe I'll do it. But I don't mind. It's not like when I was back in the day hungry and I went down on my knees and begged for the UFC for a world title against Matt Hughes. I'm not the same person anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm a very happy man right now.
God bless. You're wearing the I think that's a karate combat hat, right?
Oh yes, exactly.
Are they trying?
I didn't have time to comb my hair. I just got out of the pool. You know?
Look at that hair, George. Why are you hiding it? Oh my God, the hair is fantastic. Why are you hiding? Is that bleached, by the way, or is that your real hair color?
No, my real hair color is blonde, brownish.
Okay.
And I bleach it. It's silver.
You love it. You love it, right? You're happy with it?
Yeah, I like it. And you know, I have a lot of audition to do nowadays for movies.
Yes.
So I have a big project coming up.
Oh.
And my advisor suggests me that it would be good for me to change my style a little bit because everybody knows me as GSP, you know, the MMA guy.
Right.
So it's important for me sometimes to change, you know, to change the way I look. And it helped me get the job done.
Any projects you can tell us about, or you're keeping them close to your vest?
Yeah, unfortunately, like a lot of these projects are confidential. But I had something that was supposed to happen in fall. Apparently, COVID is getting very bad in Los Angeles and California right now, so they're pushing back everything. And I was supposed to go to Movie Award this coming up weekend, and it's been delayed as well, unfortunately.
Oh. Well, the reason I asked you about the hat was I'm wondering, you know, you said grappling, this and that, if they were trying to get you to compete karate combat. I know you're just a sensei, but have they, you know, now that you're part of the team, like, hey, George, just one match, what do you think?
You know, I like karate combat, but it is very, very serious competition. You can get hurt very bad. So if I do something, it will be, I don't want to put it's always a risk because it's a full contact sport. And if I do something that I put my well-being into it, I want something that the rules minimize the risk of injury, you know? Because like I said, I'm an happy man right now. I don't fight for the same reason I used to fight back in the day. If I fight because I like the idea, it excites me, and I can give money to charity, it will make me very happy. And it will make also the audience and the fans happy as well.
I just want to ask you about 3 fighters, and then I'll let you go, George. Thank you so much for the time. Always appreciate it. Did you see Anderson Silva's boxing match? And if so, how did that make you feel to see him look like that?
Bro, it was one of his best performances in life. I would say amongst the rest of his elite performance that he did in MMA. To me, the way he beat Cesar Chavez, it was incredible. And I was under the impression before the fight that he would not have Cesar Chavez would dominate him, you know, because of his boxing experience. Man, he took everybody by surprise. It was very inspiring to see him perform that way. It was very, very inspiring. And what a great ending for Anderson Silva right now. You know what I mean? I hope if he comes back into these kinds of fight, it will be something worth it. Not only about money, but in terms of legacy, something that it will make him shine, make him look good. Because man, you check his last 2 performances against Uriah Hall. It was kind of disappointing. It was kind of sad. But what a way to come back. What a way to get back on top. Man, that was amazing.
He's boxing Tito Ortiz next. Did you hear that?
I didn't know that. No way.
Yes, he's on that same card as Vitor and Oscar Triller.
Not in MMA.
In boxing. Yeah.
I think it's a good fight, maybe for it could be a good fight for Anderson Silva because he's more into his field of expertise.
What is your take on Rory McDonald? It appears like people are saying he doesn't have it anymore. You know, it's not the same guy. When you see him, he's your friend and training partner. When you see him, what do you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to see Rory. He's in Florida, but I wait, and you never know what happened to fighters. Why certain things affect their performance. You never know what happened. Maybe he's hiding an injury. Maybe things happen in his life. Maybe that night was simply just not one of his best nights.
Right.
It's hard to tell. But clearly, in my own opinion, I've seen Rory perform better before in the past. And I think he something might have affected his performance, but I can't tell what it is. I haven't spoke to him. I just wish him the best recovery, and hopefully he will come back and choose to do what is best for his life.
And I'd be remiss if I don't ask you about Conor McGregor. In your opinion, can he get back to the Conor McGregor of 2016 based on what you've seen from him lately?
He started off the fight very well, but then after you could see that Poirier was getting over him. And I think if he comes back, if I'm Conor McGregor, or maybe not Conor because he's a very proud fighter, if I'm his manager, I don't want my client to come back to fight the same guy again for the 4th time, because now it seems like Dustin has his number. He need to perhaps take another fight. Maybe I'm talking not as a fan, I'm talking about as Conor McGregor. I think he should come back and maybe fight Nate Diaz or someone else that has a different styles than Dustin Poirier, because styles make fight, and sometimes I have the feeling that now Dustin Poirier probably have his number right now, and Conor been out for a long time. He needs to get back in there to spend more time in the octagon in order to find his own self, the way he moves and his ability. It seems like he might have lost some of his ability because due to his inactivity.
George, it's such an honor to have you on. Thank you so much. You're always so gracious. I love the way you are being respected in our hometown of Montreal. They built a statue for you. Yes, it looks a little bit like Barack Obama, but still, it's a statue for you, George. Who would have thought when you were a little kid being bullied in Saint-Isidore that they'd be building statues for you, right? I was actually just in Montreal. I wanted to go see it.
Exactly. Now my bully can watch can watch it and be like, man, I beat that kid. I beat that guy when I was young.
It's
they
amazing.
can brag about it.
Absolutely.
They even made Ariel. They even made a burger on my name to one of the little outdoor restaurants. It's called Cantine chez Bob. They made a cheeseburger that is actually pretty good. I'm kind of happy because I went there as an inspector. I didn't tell nobody. I went there to order it, and they were like, "Hey, you're George St-Pierre?" I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, "I'm coming to taste my burger. It has my name, so I want to see if it's good." And they were laughing. So it's actually pretty good.
What is in it? Is it just a cheeseburger? Or is there something special in it?
Double meat portion, salad, tomato, chili pepper, mayo, relish, and mustard. It's actually pretty good.
Wow. I texted you when we were in Montreal. I was at one of your favorite restaurants and mine, Pigeon, in Monkland. I love that place. Everyone should check it out. One day I'd love to go there with you, but I'd also, one day, my dream, George, is to go with you. This is my dream, to go with you to the Orange Julep on DeCarry and have some spaghetti. And Arnold Allen. I was at the Orange Julep. I tweeted a picture of it when I was there a couple of weeks ago with my family. My kids love it. The drink, I love it too. And he said he eats the spaghetti and it gives him diarrhea. He said it's the worst food. And I said, I'm going to tell George that you said, are you crazy to speak of Orange Julep like that? He's crazy, right? He's wrong.
Nah, man. It maybe he's allergic to gluten or something like that. It's actually, their spaghetti is actually pretty good. Of everything they have in their menu, I recommend the spaghetti, the number one thing.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Taste.
I think the julep is the number one thing, but maybe for food, maybe.
But the spaghetti is actually pretty good. The juice and the spaghetti with it.
Right. All right, so that's my dream. We're going to make it happen. One of these days, George and I at the Orange Julep, an iconic location in Montreal. We're going to enjoy some spaghetti and we're going to enjoy some julep. George, thank you so much for the time. All the best to you. Much love, my friend. And I can't thank you enough when you come on. It always means a lot to me. The greatest of all time being on this show. I really, really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Ariel, for having me. And sorry for the little problem that happened. Now I know that next time I do an interview, I'm not going to let my phone hang under the sun for too long. Sorry to you. Sorry to the audience.
No problem. We live and learn. The man himself, George St-Pierre of Montreal. What a guy. What a mensch. There will never be another. And it's always a great honor when he joins us on the show. Fascinating stuff there regarding the Triller fight and Oscar De La Hoya and Khabib. What a mensch. You know what the word mensch means? You look up the word mensch in the dictionary, you see that man. Now, 20 or so minutes, we're going to be joined by Jorge Masvidal. Last guest of the day. I got to go to Las Vegas. SummerSlam. But I'm putting on my glasses like an old man. They're one second. They're very foggy. I think I've been touching them too much. These are my glasses, which really became a thing in my life because of all those Zoom shows that I was doing, which I hope to never do again. And you got to roll with the punches, but it's great to be in a studio. Look at this. I said to you guys that I did an Ask Me Anything on my Substack page. Ooh, look at this, 180. Ariel Helwani.substack.com. And so without further ado, should I go from the bottom up? I feel like I should give props to the people who are there first. Oh, top first. It's a great page. Ariel Helwani.substack.com. I'm not trying to plug here, but let's go. I didn't read any of these. I skimmed here and there. I wanted to see if people were actually engaging. So let's go. 18 or so minutes of some questions. Who wants some? Who wants some? Who wants some? All right, here we go. This is from Dan B. Thank you very much. You were first one up. And so I will give you, I think if you like the questions, they move up. I don't know how this all works. I'm very new to it all, but this is going to be something that I'm going to be doing more of. My glasses keep like pinching my ear here. All right. This is from Dan. I haven't read any of these. Just want to let you know. Given everything you put out there regarding the relationship with the UFC and Dana White. How about that? The first question. God bless you. And yourself. Are you able to go report on site for live events, or is that not possible? This seems to be a thing that keeps coming up. It feels like this is revisionist history. It almost feels like people have skipped over 2016 to 2018. Remember, 2016, 199, the banning, lasted 48 hours. You know, cooler heads prevailed, all that stuff. You know the story. I was back 2016, 2017, 2018. Then I went to ESPN and I was back as well. The reason I haven't been to an event since March of 2020 isn't because I'm banned. At least no one's told me I'm banned. The reason, and I don't know why I would be, 95% of the things I talk about are positive about the UFC. The reason is the pandemic. And yes, I did say many times, I'm ready to go back. I want to go back, but ESPN, look at my colleagues. They were very cautious. Now, some of them lived on the West Coast, Vegas, California. It was easier for them to drive or literally like walk over there. I live on the East Coast, tougher. I was supposed to go to Glendale, but then the contract, you know, and everything. And so it was just kind of the end and we just let it, you know, ride out. So to the best of my knowledge, all's good. I mean, of course, you know, they don't roll out the red carpet, but I don't need them to roll out the red carpet. You know, you just want to go cover the sport. And I have no beef here. Again, there's no beef on this side. The whole thing is crazy to me. I don't understand it. I will never understand it. But yeah, people keep saying I'm banned. I'm not banned. My employer didn't want to send me out and there was a pandemic. I don't know if you heard about it. There was a pandemic, but you know, if I wanted to go back and I'll also be honest now with all the shows and everything I'm doing, I think the role has evolved and changed and, you know, don't have to go to 30 events a year like I did when I was a youngster because I got other things to do, but I still love going to the events, and I hope to do so in the very near future. Maybe the Nick Diaz fight coming up. First of all, okay, this is from Nathan. First of all, welcome back. Which fighters, champions from other organizations do you think would be title contenders and possible champions in the UFC? First one that comes to mind is AJ McKee. He is incredible. I think he could give Alex Volkanovski a run for his money at 145. Just what a great fighter. What an absolute great fighter, and young, dynamic, aggressive, finisher, undefeated, just beat Pitbull, who's a fantastic fighter in his own right. And so, yeah, he comes to mind. Kayla Harrison comes to mind, undefeated, 2 more fights. Maybe we see her crossover after the PFL deal is done. Who knows there? Who else? You know, of course, did he just say young here? You know, Mousasi could still hang in the UFC, obviously. Ray Cooper's a great fighter in PFL. But I don't love the narrative of like, oh, AJ McKee just won a belt, he should go to the UFC. No, AJ McKee's getting treated really well by Bellator. We shouldn't always want to push these guys. Look, guys, I understand why you feel this way. As a fan, you want all the fighters under one umbrella so that you could see all the fights that you want. That makes total sense. But if you are a fan of fighters and a fan of mixed martial arts, you actually should be rooting for competition. Rising tide lifts all boats. You want more options. You want more opportunities for fighters. You want fighters to be able to go out, test the market, and make money because, as they like to say, the window is very, very small. And some of them only get 5 years to make a lot of money. I want to see them all make money. I want to see them make more money than they could ever dream of, than they know what to do with. And it's hard to do that when there's one game in town. This is from Riley. Could we see a Helwani Trivia Roadshow again in the future? I would love to do it. I think we did 2 of them, and they were so much fun. One in Chicago, one in Las Vegas. I would love to do it. No plans right now, COVID, new jobs, all that stuff. But I would love to do it. I would absolutely love to do it. And I will do it. Maybe not the same way, but I will do it. The trivia is a lot of fun. I actually pitched a trivia show to Fuel TV back in the day, and they never did. I thought that was a mistake. Wanted to get your perspective on why the UFC hasn't given, this is from Flick. Wanted to get your perspective on why the UFC hasn't given Leon Edwards a title shot. How much more of a win streak does he have to rack up? Yes, the last fight with Nate was touch and go at the end, but he won. Couldn't agree with you more. In any other circumstance, Leon Edwards is fighting for a belt next. 10-1, only loss. Yeah, well, he had the loss to Kamaru Usman, 6 years ago at this point. If you look at his last 11 or so fights, compare that to Colby's last 11 or so fight. Also, Colby's on the same record, but Colby's last loss was 2 fights ago. Colby's 1-0, 1-0 since his last title fight. He got a title fight, and Colby. This is a funny thing about Colby. I think he went on Submission Radio and he was talking all kinds of junk about me. If you knew the battles that I had to fight on behalf of Colby Covington to talk to him, quite frankly, to shine a positive light on him with the Marines and do pieces on him in my previous life, Colby should be thanking me, honestly, not disparaging me. All of a sudden, Colby doesn't like me anymore. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on there. I have nothing but true story. I once had Colby Covington on my show. I walk into the studio. There's a lot of famous people there. And this is at ESPN. Walked into the studio, a lot of famous people. And someone said to me, why'd you have that guy? This is someone on air said to me, why'd you have that guy wearing that red hat on the show? I said, I don't care. He could wear whatever he wants. Now, this is before things got, really a little bit tenuous, but like this is 2 years ago. He can wear whatever he wants. It's not my job to censor him. Not my job to tell him what to wear. You better pan up. You better get that. If that's what he wants to wear, God bless. I've always been that way. Come on, say whatever you want. You want to come on here? You want to talk smack to me? By all means. I would love it. I would invite it. And so, he's trying to say, all I was saying, I put out this tweet, last 11 fights, Leon Edwards, Colby Covington. I think Leon deserves it. He's not the most dynamic personality, so they don't push him as much. And that sucks. Quite frankly, that sucks because he deserves it. I don't care how the Nate Diaz fight ended up. He deserves it. He has done enough to get a title shot. And don't get me started on the Gilbert Burns thing. Gilbert Burns, a year ago, Ali is telling ESPN that they are banned from talking to anyone because I had the audacity to suggest that Leon Edwards should fight Gilbert Burns in a number one contender fight. Now we have Gilbert Burns trying to pressure publicly Leon Edwards to fight him. Why? Why in the world would he take that fight? That makes no sense. Leon should consider only 2 fights right now, if you ask me. The Masvidal fight for revenge, for his heart, to get back at him for the 3-piece in a soda, or the title fight. Just wait it out. That's that. Another question, not trying to be greedy. This is from Dan B. Will you be doing any on-location interviews soon, like the trip to Albuquerque for John Jones or the one in Philly with Eddie Alvarez? I found those to be amazing. Love your stuff, Ariel. Yes, I'll be doing a lot of that. A lot of that for BT Sport, other places. But yes, I want to get back to doing that. This is Jeremy Duke. Remember, it's been a weird time, 1.5 years, no traveling, all that stuff. I've got 2. I understand if only one or none make the cut. Jeremy Duke. MMA media generally asks Dana the same softball questions and the fighters the same old questions over and over while they're cutting weight. Is this because those reporters are generally not creative, or does it have to do with them not wanting to anger the UFC? No, I don't think it's the latter. Different reporters have different styles. I was talking about this with someone yesterday. There was a thing that happened on Twitter yesterday with, a fine young reporter, and there was like a mishap, whatever. It's not important. And it was like, MMA media. Look at the state of MMA media. I would put right now MMA media up there with boxing media, with any type of media core. Everyone loves to look at MMA media. This is the problem with MMA media. No, what they mean to say is this is the problem with social media, with people running to do things first, to get things out there, to maybe make a name for themselves. I would put like Ben Fowlkes, Chuck Mindenhall, Sean Al-Shadi, Mark Raimondi, Pete Carroll, John Morgan, Kevin Aioli, Brett Okamoto, Nolan King, Farah Hanoun, Dave Doyle. I could go Guilherme Cruz, the freaking Brazilian beast himself, Jose Youngs, Damon Martin. Do you want me to go down the entire list? Now I'm I always say I don't like to say names, but like there is a great media core. MMA media is doing just fine. This idea that MMA media are a bunch of hacks is totally wrong. Now, are there going to be people on, Twitter? Are there going to be people on Instagram that are making up stuff? Sure. But MMA, don't paint us all with that same brush. MMA media doing just fine. Now, there's going to be some jabrones who show up to the events in person and ask these crazy questions. That's not us. That's the type of people that they want at the press conference just to say, oh, look who's at the press conference. Even the dude, I'd even ask Kayla Harrison about the MMA media member that asked her that stupid question. Who is that? That's not MMA media. That's not someone who makes his living off of it. Josh Gross. I could go on and on. This is tremendous media core. MMA media is very, very strong right now. It's very healthy. And I feel bad that I probably missed a name or two, but you get the point. MMA media is doing just fine. Will you, this from Luke, will you invite Puya Rebeck once more? Luke Thomas, respect. Will you invite Puya Rebeck once more for impersonations? The Valid one still cracks me up every time. If anyone knows where Prebeck is, Puya Rebeck, the legend, if anyone knows where that man is, please do me a favor. Tell him I miss him. I would love to have him in studio. Do you think, this is a good one, Sean, do you think Figgy deserves the trilogy fight with Moreno straight away? I can see the argument. I can see why he wants it. I could also see the argument to let them go elsewhere, have a fight, and then meet up. I mean, they're trying to do Zhang versus Rose. If they're trying to do Zhang versus Rose, then why don't you do that fight? It's probably the biggest flyweight fight that you can make right now. So I won't be upset about it. Like I would be more upset is a big word. I think Carla Esparza is being wrong by not getting that title fight. Carla Esparza should be fighting Rose Namajunas next for the belt. And that has nothing to do with Zhang, but, she wasn't a long-time champion. She got knocked out pretty quickly. Win one fight, get back in there. Not a gazillion fights, but one fight. Carla Esparza, there's a story to be told there. She beat Rose Namajunas in the first ever strawweight title fight, and now she's on this amazing roll with some big wins. Make the rematch. It's a big fight for Rose, and it's a big fight for Carla. I don't know why they're going back to that well. Is it a business thing with China and all? I don't know, but that one makes no sense to me. What do you know is being targeted for the December pay-per-view? This is from Musana. Great questions. Too early right now. My guess is maybe Poirier, but we just got to November, so it's a little too early. But if you look at the roster of who might be available, Poirier, Oliveira could be a fight. Riley, what is your take on the Conor versus DC beef? As you can see, I'm just going to the first ones that I see. It bums me out. I love DC. That's my guy. That's my brother. I don't want to see them beefing. I don't want to see Conor and Michael Bisping beefing. I saw that on Twitter. These are legends. No one wants to see that. So I don't want to see it. And it bumps me out. Patty the Batty, UFC champion by end of 2023, Corey B. So end of 2023 would be in a year. Yeah, sure, I could see that. I mean, I'm really curious to see how he does. There hasn't been a great run right now. There's been a couple of examples, Jack Shore and whatnot, but there hasn't been a tremendous run right now of Cage Warrior guys, going over to the UFC and having success. Let's see if he can be different. By the way, Jorge Masvidal, still coming up. Who is most likely to regain their title first? Zhang, Figgy, Max, Robert, or Stipe? This is from Eliezer Katz. Great name, by the way. Zhang, Figgy, Max, Robert, Stipe, Max Holloway. Rish. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. R-I-S-C-H. UFC has thrived during the pandemic. If COVID never happened, do you think the growth would have been comparable? And do you think there are any major differences as to where the sport would be right now? The UFC 100% thrived. 100% thrived. They took a chance. It paid off. They were the first to come back. May, June, July. They were the only game in town. And I think the perfect storm, if you will, for lack of a better term, of them being the only game in town, the rise of the online sports books, sports gambling becoming more legalized, BetMGM, DraftKings, FanDuel, all those places. It was an incredible turn of events, stars aligning for the UFC. I remember May, June, July, people would come up to me, friends, neighbors, cousins, who never spoke to me about MMA. Hey, who's going to win in the Michelle Watterson fight? I'm like, what? You know who Michelle Watterson is? They wanted to watch sports. They wanted to gamble. They wanted to be entertained. Worked out huge. Plus, let's be honest, the ESPN deal has worked out tremendously for them. It has been the best thing to ever happen to the UFC. Honestly, who would have thought the numbers would be this great on Plus pay-per-view? It's because of the rub that they get from .com and SportsCenter and the other programming. It's been a fantastic relationship, and the UFC always wanted to be on ESPN. Even before the Fox deal, the dream, the ultimate goal was to be on ESPN. So it has worked out, and they are killing it right now. And they're getting paid in advance for the pay-per-views. Like, the financial deal is just fantastic. So, yeah, COVID helped. They probably would have ended up in this spot eventually, but I think it expedited things, no doubt. Juan, Ariel, what is your take on the bantamweight division, and is it the most exciting division at this moment? I see a lot of people saying that. I think Casey says that. And it's certainly, I mean, 135, 155, those are up there. I would obviously do the Jan Sterling fight. That needs to happen. Absolutely. That needs to happen next. And it's going to happen hopefully on October 30th. And then, TJ is going to be out. I actually spoke to his team recently. I mean, TJ, with the recent knee surgery that he had, he's only going to be ready in around February or so, January, February, something like that. So does Corey Sandhagen slide in there? I wouldn't hate it. I think you can make a strong case that he won that fight. Does he slide in there? Does he get that title shot? I still think Corey Sandhagen is going to be a UFC champion. Come hell or high water, I am planting my flag in that hot take. I think he's going to be a champion. Does it happen now? Does it happen later? We'll see. But it's a great division. I mean, there's a lot to like. Sean O'Malley. Does Henry Cejudo come back? Aldo is doing great. Aldo Dillashaw would be a lot of fun. Dominic Cruz is still out there doing his thing. Marlon Vera's out there. So there's a lot. Pedro Munoz. Did you always want to be a journalist when you were growing up? This is from Matthew. And if you did, why? Well, early on, I wanted to be an NBA player. I actually signed a contract that my cousin presented to me. I said I was going to end up in the NBA. I think I was 12. He said I had to pay him $1 million if I didn't make it to the NBA. I think by 21. I don't know if you know this, but I didn't make it. Luckily, he hasn't taken me to court. I don't know if that contract was legally binding. But I remember, always emulating the broadcasters, always being fascinated by, the magic of TV and the way that the announcers set things up and all that stuff. And I remember being in the 9th grade and reading Sports Illustrated, and it said Syracuse University is the home for the best sports broadcasters. And I said to myself, that's where I want to go. And so I went to Syracuse. And the rest, as they say, is history. All right. Maybe we'll answer a few. I mean, there's so many questions here. I feel like I could have done 3 hours just on the questions. Thank you all. Maybe I'll go on the page and answer some of them as well. But for now, let us go to our last guest of the day. What a great pleasure, what a great honor it is to be joined by this man. He is the pride of Westchester, Miami, Florida. He is the BMF champ. He is the man who just recently successfully launched his own bare knuckle promotion to rave reviews, to great success. And there are rumors that a second event is on its way as well. He is the one and only Jorge Masvidal. I don't know if he appreciates the way I said that. Jorge Masvidal joining us via the magic of Zoom. What do you think? What do you think, Jorge? Not bad?
It's a different take on it, but, I'll let you slide because it's you, man.
Well, how would you say it? Like the authentic way?
Masvidal.
Masvidal.
We're not going to go any further. We're just
Okay, all right, fair enough. Sorry. I try. I hope you know it's sincere.
That's what matters.
Jorge, thank you so much for doing this. I know you don't do a lot of media and whatnot, so first week back, I wanted to have the legend, the man himself, Gamebred, on the show, so thank you very much.
Always an honor and a pleasure, my brother.
Okay, so I appreciate that. A lot to talk to you about. Most importantly, congratulations on the launch of the new promotion. The official name, Gamebred Fighting Championships, right? Or is it championship? Is it plural or singular?
It is all powerful. One championship.
Okay, fair enough. How was it? Your first promotion? I mean, this is great. Your first event under the new banner. What was it like back in June?
Freaking intense, man. We had a bunch of guys that competed, that wanted to fight, wanted to get in there, earn a paycheck the honest way, throwing rocks, slinging fists. It was amazing to see that energy, and it's just a little different when it's bare knuckle. It feels like, it doesn't feel there's a lot more on the line, so you're definitely paying attention every second that's passing by. Submissions are also easier to get, so the finishes were through the roof. We loved it. I got more than what I bargained for.
When did this idea come to you, and why? Like, why did you feel like this was something that you wanted to do?
Well, I got my start kind of like in the bare knuckle, right? So we went full circle with it, bringing back to the people, to the fighters, to everybody that wants to go out there and get it, and I could use my name to promote all these guys to push them forward and help them out in their career, We're looking for the best, hungriest, meanest, up-and-coming guys.
Am I wrong? Are you the only bare-knuckle MMA promotion? I think it's the only one, right?
one and only one.
Damn. Okay.
I watch. I know, because it just happens, right? Monkey see, monkey do. A couple more about to pop up.
Yeah.
I pop that shit.
The OG. Now, first one success. Like, did you make, like, were you in the black? Did you guys make money off of this? Was it good for you?
We did well.
Okay.
It was in Biloxi, Mississippi. We sold out. We had a good amount of downloads as well on the Bare Knuckle app. So they're happy with the business end of it. We're happy with what they're bringing to the platform. So it's amazing, man. We made money. It was a good day.
Now,
sorry, I got somebody in the group here that lost their motherfucking marbles, man.
What happened?
Sorry about that to my fans and listeners. Ever again, brother. God bless you.
What happened?
No, somebody lost their mind for a second. I had to just put an end to that.
Okay. All right. You're the man, Jorge. You're the man. If you need me to clean something up for you over there, I'll run right over there to Miami. Okay. Okay.
It's somebody you know, and I'll tell you off camera.
Oh, okay. It was probably Malky. I get it. Listen, Malky, you gotta love him. One of the best. Congratulations to him on the new the football signing that he just had with the Colts.
That guy's a jokester like hell.
I don't want to talk about him too much because he's definitely going to pop out of that window any second now if we keep talking about him. Jorge, are we doing a second one? What's the deal?
Doing a second one, September 11th. We're ready to set fire. You know, we had a main event that's incredible that we were working on, and everything fell into place. All the ducks in a row, and that is Bigfoot Silva.
What?
Bare knuckle. I'm gonna have to bring him in. Actually, come here and say the other name, please.
Who's the other name?
Bigfoot Silva versus Alex Nicholson.
Ah, there he is.
That's a good main event right there.
That's big time stuff.
Bare knuckle. Bare knuckle.
Heavyweight.
You guys are going for one thing alone. Freaking ending. Storybook ending.
So September 11th, Gamebred FC. Where is it?
Biloxi, Mississippi.
Okay, we're back. The great Bigfoot Silva against Alex Nicholson. What is this? Is this 3 rounds?
There's night right now.
Okay.
Trey.
I love it. Who else on the card? We know you're in this giving mood right now. Break some other news for us.
ISIS's opponents, what's her name? We got this girl that we're really high on, great striker, and to see her bearing up with, I think it's going to be a real treat. What's her opponent's name? I get hit for a living, so I forget names once in a while. They'll give me the name right now.
Okay. Any chance before the career is done?
Leia versus. Come on, just say that.
Oh, here we go.
Maya Kahuna Lely. I may just destroy her name, and I'm sorry.
Oh, that's Abe. Oh, Abe, you could pull up. You could pull up a chair. You can hang out all day. I got love. No problem. I thought it was Malky. My bad.
No, that's
even worse, maybe.
Okay, this is great. Now, before it's all said and done, the active career, is the dream for you to wrap up this whole career, this amazing journey that you've had, almost 2 decades now, in Gamebred FC, fighting for your own promotion. I mean, what a rags to riches story that is. Bare knuckle, but you're the freaking promoter. You're the man. Before it's all done, is that the goal here?
There's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts to that equation, but definitely, why not is one of the ways to put it. But at the same time, it's crazy, right? Because I'm on the contract and this and that, So who knows, right?
Okay.
In the realm of reality.
Okay. You recently said on Twitter, you wrote on Twitter, pay-per-view money just cashed in. See you guys in the cage soon with a smiley face. What did you mean by that?
And I'll see you guys in the cage soon, smiley face.
Do we have the next one?
No, we don't have the next one. We don't even have a date, an opponent, anything. I'm going to Vegas in about 2 weeks to meet with the shot callers, and I'm going to sit down and throw numbers back and forth and put a bounty on somebody's head, and then I'm going to go grab that earnings on that somebody's head. Let's say,
I'm Hunter Campbell. We don't look a lot alike, but let's just say for this, experience here where I'm Hunter Campbell. You know Hunter, right? That's your guy?
I've talked to him.
I mean, really the brains of the whole operation right now, if you ask me.
So yeah, Hunter, me and Hunter talk often. Maybe not as often as we should, but we sure talk often. And for those that don't know, he's like a huge part of the corporation.
Yeah, massive. He's making these fights.
Everything major has to happen through him, and then of course Dana and the rest of the company. But Hunter's like very instrumental.
So if he says to you, all right, Jorge, you're the man. What do you want? What do you say?
You're good at what you do, bro. That's why you keep getting all these awards. It's because you're good, man. You put these questions right. How do I answer that now? I'll tell you this much. I'll say, get me the fight that gets me fastest and closest to a title shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would say. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Who is it? Let's go. Who do you think will get me closer to the title? Who is the highest ranked, most dangerous fight? Whatever. Tell me who it is. Put a price tag on his head. And we're going to fight about that for like 2 weeks, just on that price tag. And then we're going to come to it.
I feel like there are three options. I feel like there are only three options, if I'm being honest. The first one is Gilbert Burns.
Okay.
The second one is Leon Edwards. The third one is Nate Diaz. I feel like it's just one of those three guys. The rest doesn't make sense.
I think those are all great options. Doesn't matter to us. As long as they put that paycheck on it and it gets me closer to the title. They say, so-and-so, this person right here, Gilbert, because he's the highest ranked dude, is the next guy you have to beat to get to where you want to go. Let's go. That's as simple as it is. So all these guys always talking shit on Twitter and this and that. I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the other guy that I punched his name, what's his face backstage because he's talking. He thinks I owe him something. I don't know nobody shit. I only owe my kids and my parents and myself the biggest paychecks possible. So when it comes to business, I'm gonna make sure I get every dollar I'm worth,
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get the one that'll pay me the most and closest to the title, and so forth and so forth.
Is this a matter where you want to talk turkey as well? It's not just about picking the opponent. You want to talk business too.
Oh, it's all business, bro. It's all business for us.
Okay. The last time I spoke to you, you were kind enough to talk to me on the Monday after the Usman fight in April. And it was obviously no one wants to see you down, but you were very honest. You were very raw. And, you had to work through the emotions. That was a big fight for you. We're 4 months or so, a little less than 4 months removed. Are you still kind of feeling the emotions after that fight? Are they all gone away? Do they only go away once you fight again? How are you feeling about what happened in Jacksonville?
Oh, no. Those nightmares will forever stick with me. And I'm fine with that. I've already, made a mechanism to cope with them. It's totally cool. I just, got to give it back at some point. So Usman got to get in there. It's a long shot now. Obviously, I got a lot of work to do, so I don't want to talk too much about fighting him. Mm-hmm. But I just want to say that whatever the amount of work that it takes to get back in front of him, I'll do it.
So that is still the goal. Because there was even that brief moment where you said you even thought about saying sayonara for a second in the locker room, you said.
Yeah. But I was like, you know what? Let me go back in the gym, see how I'm doing when I'm sparring, when I'm grappling, when I'm rolling. Can I still hang? Can I still keep up with the dudes, the up-and-coming guys, the good guys, this and that? I mean, what a better gym than my gym to find out if I still got it or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
So still got it, man. I ain't going nowhere.
Still a few more years.
Let's say 2 more years, huh?
Okay. That's not a ton of time, but it's 5 more fights, something like that. 6 more fights.
Yeah, if I could get lucky and get 6 fights to the end of the year, would be supreme.
Do you want to fight again before this year is over?
The immediate answer is yes.
Why do you say immediate answer?
Well, because like I said, it's a business. I got to get in front of the UFC, then they're gonna say, yeah, but this and that and that, and who knows? It's not anything against him. It's just if it's up to me, I'd fight this year. What I'm trying to say.
Okay, probably the back end of the year, right? Like in November, December.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's December, November.
Okay. What's that?
You know too much.
No, I don't know anything. That's why I'm asking you all these. I feel like I'm peppering you here. I feel like it's like an interrogation.
Ask me, you already know answers and stuff, man. I don't know how you get.
I swear I don't know. I feel like it would be a travesty. I don't know. I hope you don't get mad at me if I say that. Colby versus you would have been such a big fight. To me, it's a shame that it didn't happen.
It'll still happen at some point.
You think so?
I know so.
Okay. In the cage or outside the cage?
That's the best thing about me is that I aim to please, so I'm going to give what the audience wants, both. You know, ever see this guy in person? He said a lot of things I want to see. You know, and you know what's the really funny part is that like months ago he was talking about how he was going to call the police on me. Now he's talking about if he sees me on the street, he's going to beat me up when he's walking around with a sheriff like by his side. He's got like this older dude, cop guy that's a sheriff. And he's going around yapping his mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just wants to put people in jail. That's what he wants to do. You know?
So, like almost like a bodyguard. That's what you heard.
No, that's not what I heard. That's what I've seen.
You've seen it.
I've seen pictures, videos of it. You know, you can't move in my city without,
right.
You know.
You run that place. Okay, so these are the options. I just want to tie this part up. You don't have any preference, Nate, rematch, Dorino, Florida, you know, whatever. You're just going to go there with an open mind, see what's up, but there's no one in your heart right now that you're like, all right, that's the guy. That's the one that I want next.
No, the one that gets me close, because I don't feel like anyone gets me closer in the title than what they decide, you know, because their way of thinking sometimes is completely different than me and my management's thinking. They might be telling me to do something completely different. Mm-hmm. So I've learned to get accustomed to that. So I go into these meetings like neutral, just give me what I deserve and let's move forward on, you know.
I saw this video recently. I think you were in like a Costco or something, and this dude came up to you and did like the Bruce Buffer announcement of you.
Oh, yeah.
That guy was incredible.
Oh, you know, when it first started out, I thought he was going to like fade out like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And as he kept going, I was like, oh shit, this guy's serious and he's good, you know? So guess what we did? We went and hired him for King Brother.
What?
Yeah. He's going to be at the show. He's going to do a lot of the opening bouts and stuff. He's going to rep for us, you know?
So after that, you guys got his info and legit hired the guy.
Oh, immediately after, you know, because there was a crowd. I don't know if there was like about 150 people behind him.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, if he can do it like that with all these people behind him, no sweat, he's ready for the big times. Let's go.
God bless you. That was you were doing like a signing. I think it was for, and I'm not a drinker, so I don't want to butcher it. You're
Recuerdo.
You're
not a drinker, but more importantly, you're not a Spanish speaker. That's what I'm trouble with. I'll help you out, my brother. That's what we're here for. Recuerdo.
Yes.
El recuerdo.
You said I don't want to butcher it.
They say el because they got that word in Jewish. El.
That's easy. Yeah, in Jewish. you did a lot.
That.
I love it. You did a lot of deals like after the Ben Askren fight and everything. At any point, did you feel like it got to be too much, or are you happy with the way everything kind of played out post 2019?
No, obviously not. You know, I wish me and the UFC could have came to an agreement on the first title fight way before, you know, things like that. Maybe that's something, you know. I got a lot of making up ground to do, and that's what I'm going to do, you know. So I'm not happy, obviously, with 2020 and 2021.
You have regret?
No, never regret. A lot of data to go look back on and work on this, work on that, multiply this, subtract that, things like that, you know, but not regret.
We're starting to see a lot of people, you know, someone that you know, Jake Paul, you've trained with him, talking a lot about fighter pay and stuff, the stuff that you talked about last summer.
Yeah.
You feel like this is going to change at all?
No.
Why?
You know, fighters are very individual creatures, you know, stuff like that. And we'd have to like come together under a roof or something like that and have each other's best interests at heart, so we would sit down, everybody together and things like that. And that in itself is a problem, you know. Mm-hmm. I want every single body that's on the roster to get what they deserve, but it's crazy. You know, some people are happy. The next guy that's not even in the UFC might be just happy to this and that and that and this. You know how it is.
Right. Yeah, it's a tough thing to get everyone on the same page because you got the guy who's making 10 and 10 who's just happy to be there and doesn't want to rock the boat. And then you got the other guy at the top who's like, oh, I finally made it. I'm at the very top. I'm the top 5%. And then it's the guys in the middle who are like, what am I doing, you know?
And like you said, that's a lot of
people.
Lawyers and this and that. I think in the future something will happen, but it's, I don't know, man. I hope more people keep bringing attention to it because I think it's messed up. I think they just released the other day again, like the salaries, like in the percentages of even Bellator and like other organizations, how much more they give, you know. It's crazy.
Yeah, like 15 as far as like the revenue share.
Yeah, the revenue share.
Yeah. I heard that you said Tyron Woodley's going to beat Jake Paul. Am I right on that?
Never been more right.
Why?
Talking to me?
Yeah. Why do you think he's going to beat him? Because a lot of people, Jake is the betting favorite.
Why'd you say why?
Why do you think so?
Huh? You're messing with me.
I didn't say who, by the way. I didn't say who. I said why.
No, but you're messing with me.
No, I don't.
So it's not the diss Jake, but you've been watching MMA for a minute.
Yeah.
Woodley could throw them hands. Ben Askren never could. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, you got a guy that could fight, that could sling fists when it's time to sling. Like, Woodley could have made his money grappling, which he did. He was good enough of an athlete, and he was good enough of an athlete to make his money with his hands, to knock people the fuck out, you know? So I know Jake's never been in there with a guy like that, you know? It's explosive, that's a good athlete, and has a ton of experience over him. So if Jake wins, fucking wow, my hat's off to him. I was wrong. I don't know shit about fighting, right? But chances are Woody's going to knock him the fuck out.
Wow, you think he's going to knock him out? You're one of the few who's saying that, by the way, and I appreciate your loyalty to your MMA guy. You know, he's a part of the ATT family. But just for the record, a lot of people are saying Jake is going to beat him.
I don't know what the fuck record you're looking at, man.
No.
I have no fucking idea.
You're seeing a lot.
Who you be hanging out with, bro?
No, I'm just saying I'm seeing a lot. Well, first of all, the betting odds have Jake as the favorite, which initially you would think is kind of crazy.
It's crazy as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, it means I'm gonna make money finally at the bet. So
when you felt him, right? You've trained with him. He's got skills.
We didn't spar. I saw him hit pads.
Yeah.
I think I've seen him lightly sparring with guys. I've only seen from fights and the footage that he has online when he's going at 100 speed.
Yeah.
That being said, I've also seen Woodley when he's hitting pads, when he's sparring at 100, and when he's fighting at 100. And when I do the math, Woodley wins, man. Woodley just wins, you know. As long as he did his part, which was train leading up to the moment, was in the gym doing his thing, he's gonna win. There's just too much experience and athleticism on that side. I think Jake's a good athlete, but Woodley's a different type of athlete. It's just, you know, that next level athlete compared to Jake. Jake's gonna feel it in the fight. You know, I don't think he's even ever sparred with somebody as athletic as Woodley. They can cover the distance that he can. That if Woodley was to get like tired or hurt, can clinch him, and there's nothing Jake could do, you know. And then the referee will break it up, but there goes 4 or 5 seconds, you know. And he's gonna get manhandled in the clinch, I feel like, as well, you know. So I see Woodley winning.
2 last very quick things. Colby Usman 2. Who do you think wins? Usman? Okay. And I want to give you this opportunity. You can say no if you want. There's a lot going on in your home country of Cuba. Is there anything that you want to say in support of the people there? Anything you want? I know it's near and dear to your heart. You want to talk about it or no?
There's a genocide going on over there, and it's not being covered by the internet because they've shut off the internet. A lot of pleas have been and requests have been made, but nothing's been done to give Cuba internet just so they themselves could broadcast the horrors that are going on over there. It's crazy. It feels like we're speaking into deaf ears, you know. We're seeing the craziness that's happening in Afghanistan too. And it's like, I think I read a report where like 83,000 Americans were left behind, translators, all types of different people that are out there helping our government, securing our freedom so that we could do what we do. You could be on the show, I could be fighting because they're risking their lives so no terrorist attack happen here. And then we turn their back on those people. It's like, man, the world's getting real fucked up real fast, you know?
Mm-hmm. Do you have family in Cuba still?
Yeah.
Are you able to contact them?
Scarcely.
Okay. Are they doing okay for to the best of your knowledge?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them are in the countryside, like away, like out in the mountains, and they're doing much better than like the poor people in the cities and stuff like that are dealing with the government directly, face to face, you know?
Right.
Under the tyranny of communism and socialism and all that bullshit.
Well, my heart goes out to everyone over there, and hopefully, I mean, it is a crazy time. with
my boy Ugas fighting the great one of my all-time favorite boxers, Manny Pacquiao.
Yes.
And he's also bringing a lot of attention to Cuba and what's going on over there. And he actually escaped from that communist regime, became a world champion boxer. At one point was like 7-1 in boxing or 7-3, and then just worked his way up to becoming a world championship. Now he's going to fight Manny Pacquiao. Great fucking story, guys. Dennis Ugas.
Yes.
You don't know that.
That's this Saturday on pay-per-view, I think, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. You'll be watching.
For a great cause. Yeah, I'll definitely be watching.
You going to go? Support him?
I'm going to be at American Top Team Grand Opening in Pennsylvania for Bo Nichols' Grand Opening. So I won't be there.
Oh, it finally opened. The State College one.
State College one is finally open. I think I just blasted it this year. Yeah, you might be the first to hear that.
Damn, look at that. I love it. I love it. You guys need to get Gable Steveson to come train with you guys as well.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Bro.
That guy's the man, right?
I got to see him watch the NCAA championships live.
Oh, right. That's right.
Beast, bro.
That guy.
I already knew that. I was like, wow, might just go in the men's trials and then get a medal. I'm thinking, right, when I'm seeing him with college. Gosh, is he good? He not only goes out and gets a medal, but gets a gold medal. Fuck, bro.
And down 5 points in like 30 seconds, right? Like, it was like 30 seconds left he was down?
Mind-blowing athlete. Fucking insane. Made it look easy.
I love your respect for collegiate wrestling, amateur wrestling. I know you're a huge fan of that. I remember when you were in my studio many, many, many moons ago in New York, because you were coming to town, I think with Abe, to watch the championships at Madison Square Garden.
MSG.
Yeah. Well, Jorge, so to recap, Gamebred FC 2.
I have the BKFC app.
Yes. Okay, so it's
the BKFC app.
Yeah.
You want that wrong.
That's right. It's part
BKFC,
of the same family.
September 11th, Bigfoot Silva versus Alex Nicholson.
I love it.
Live on.
I love it. And you're going to Las Vegas in 2 weeks to meet with the brass in Vegas.
Tickets on sale right now.
Tickets on sale right now?
Tickets on sale right now today.
Where? Where do they buy them?
Where do they buy the tickets at? Gamebred Fighting Championships.
Boom.
GamebredTickets.com.
Boom. And it's championship, not championships.
Yeah, I just got a list. Don't make fun of it.
No, that's good.
I'm from Miami, bro.
Hey, if you need me to go to Vegas with you for the chat with the bosses, let me know. I'll clear the schedule and we'll talk turkey. You know, I know.
They would love. All jokes aside, would you clear the schedule for me? Because they would love to see you.
I think it would be great. I think it would work very well for you if I showed up on your behalf. This is my advisor.
Are you sincerely telling me that?
What's that?
Are you sincerely telling me that? Because I'll book us the flight. I'll take care of the flights.
I will. I mean, I don't know if I'll be. I'm in.
Serious? Or?
I'm in, Jorge. I'm in. I'll sit right next to you on the plane. Me, you, and Manuel going down there. There's no way that we could be stopped.
Who's Manuel?
Anuel.
Oh, Anuel.
Damn it!
Yeah, you're gonna really go with the Spanish names, man.
I'm gonna work on it. Jorge. Much love, my man. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Abe, as well.
Bless you, man.
And congrats on the first event, and I look forward to the second, September 11th.
God bless everybody listening. Thank you, everybody, for your love and support.
Boom. Jorge Masvidal, the man, the BMF champ. How about that? How about that first week, my friends? How about that? Ciryl Adesanya, Dustin Poirier, Uriah Faber, Rampage Jackson, Darren Till, George St-Pierre, Jorge Masvidal, Kayla Harrison, Ciryl Gane, Chris Weidman. The king is back. The show is back. The show of shows is back. The show of record. The number one show in the history of this damn sport is back. And I don't care. No more. Who is it? It was Gunn who was saying he was home. You know what? Humble's for second place. I feel bad that I didn't get to all the questions. We've got 3 minutes left. Let me just run through some of these very, very quickly. What is your opinion on the state of the flyweight division? I don't mind it. Hey, we also got Cody Garbrandt coming down against Kai France. I don't know how that's going to go, but Max B, that's from Max B. I don't mind it. What's it like being back home, Ariel? What a great question. How did it feel on Monday being back? I wrote a long thing about this. This from Sean O'Driscoll on my Substack. The best way I could describe it is I feel like I can breathe. I feel like a weight has been lifted. I'm just happy. And I wish the same to all of you, even my haters. I just want us all to be happy. If there's one thing that I learned over the past year and a half is this damn life, and we all knew it, but you know, it hits you in the face, is too short. Let's just be happy. Any enemies out there, I say, we're friends, let's shake, be happy. We don't have to be best buds, but I don't want hate in my heart. I don't want venom in my heart. I don't want to be obviously censored, all that stuff, but like, I just want to be happy. I want to wake up and be happy and feel fulfilled in my soul. And that's what that felt like. And it was great. It was really great. Is there any chance from Mike that a show like the MMA Beat comes back? That's a great question. I would say stay tuned. That was an inappropriate. That was another. You know, I like to think that the questions are usually okay. Waiter. A simple one. What is your dream MMA matchup? I'll say the first one that just came to mind: Brock versus Fyodor. That would have been amazing. Brock versus Fyodor. Nicholas, how is your relationship with DC and Chael currently? Absolutely great. I spoke to DC yesterday for maybe 2 hours. I've texted with Chael. Like I said at the top of Monday's show, love those guys. They will always be my friends. This is a great question. From Anon1. Is there realistically a way for you and Ali Abdelaziz to make up? It would be really nice to have Khabib on your show again and the entire roster. I will say right here and now, what Ali did to me the last 2 years was pretty damn crappy. Trying to hurt me, trying to cut off the guys. Despite all of that, I would shake his hand if he walked in here right now and bury the hatchet. There is no hatchet to bury. He made a deal to try to hurt me. Let's just call it like it is. And he could spin it any other way. And by the way, use the phone number that I gave him to try to get me fired from my last job. If we're just going to shoot, I will shoot with you. That's what the guy tried to do to me. And despite all of that, I would still say, bygones be bygones. I would shake your hand and have you here and any of your fighters here. And a lot of them reach out to me. There's no hate here. There's nothing they can say. There's not a single skeleton in my closet. There's nothing they could say. I can look at myself in the mirror and say that I have tried to do everything fairly and ethically while covering the sport. I've tried. And you know the one blemish, the thing with Fox, you know about the payments and all that, and I willingly offered that up. And it's the biggest regret of my life. Rank in order the companies you've worked for. Fox Media, number 1. 2 more. Good question. Nick, now that Gina is in the books, who's the next big interview you are after? Lorenzo? That would be great. I'd love to have Lorenzo. By the way, addressing Gina, while we're doing all this, love Gina. Unfollowed me. Broke my heart. I never said that I wanted Gina to be canceled or fired or any of that. I was just coming out to explain why a Jewish person might feel a certain way about that meme. That was it. Reached out to her team, tried to clear the air, all that stuff. I never, go back, never, ever talked about cancellation. I don't believe in that mob mentality. No one should be fired for one little thing that is, no. I mean, obviously you hurt someone, it's a different thing. So I got love for Gina, and I will always have love for her. Okay. Who's someone you respect a lot but mostly disagree with? Oh my. I don't know. Disagree with. That's a good one. You stumped me on that one. What are your goals when it comes to the return of the MMA Hour? Guests that you haven't interviewed? I want to do the show the right way, give the fighters a platform, be free, talk about whatever I want, and just do this twice a week. If I do this for the rest of my days, I'll be a happy man. Honestly. It's funny when I hear people go, oh, you went back. Trust me. I am happy for the rest of my days. How do you manage your anxiety and push through at moments where it seems like it wants to take over? Great question, Justin. I don't know, to be honest. Luckily for me, the anxiety has never crippled me to the point where I can't leave my house. So I can't leave my bed. I know other people have had that, and that sucks. And I've talked to people about medication and stuff like that. It's never gone there. It's never gone that bad. It was really bad when I was a student in Syracuse. I've told this story before. 3 a.m., I can't leave. Like, I'm literally waiting till 3 a.m. in my dorm room as a freshman, waiting till I don't hear a sound so I could go brush my teeth. And then I run to the bathroom, communal bathroom, run back to my room, and hope that I don't see anyone for the rest of the weekend. That's how much anxiety I had, social anxiety. These days I have anxiety about different things. It really got bad in February when I was going to go to my first, trip away from my family after a long time. And it's funny, we talk about this because I'm leaving tomorrow and I have anxiety about it just because I feel guilt. I feel a lot of guilt. I'm a very guilty person. I feel guilty about leaving my kids, about leaving my wife. I don't know why. It's a silly thing, but it's just the way I am. And they tell me it's okay, and I just, I hope and pray that everything's okay and everyone's safe and that I can come back and do this show and the wheel keeps on turning. But yeah, I feel something in my chest sometimes, but it never gets to the point where it's stopping me. I heard Ryan Reynolds say on the Smartless podcast, which I, by the way, recommend very much. It's a great podcast. And I heard him say that his anxiety, it's great to hear him talk about this, is his engine. And I feel that way as well. It has been the engine of my career. In February, it was scaring me because I felt like it was impeding my career. It was stopping me from growth. And now it feels like an engine again. And I'm very grateful for that. And the main reason for that is because I talked to someone about it. So I would urge anyone to talk to someone about it. Okay. Does Ciryl beat Francis? He can. He 100% can. He's that damn good. Let me scroll down here too. Man, so many great. What's your favorite public holiday? Oh my gosh. Doggone it day. That was a weird one. I want to come out with a calendar and have all the public holidays on it. Those weird ones. Do you know if many UFC fighters are vaccinated? I haven't asked. I don't think it's the majority, if I'm being honest, but from the ones I've talked to, it's hit or miss. What are your thoughts on TJ Dillashaw coming back? I thought he looked great. Close fight. I hope that he recovers and can fight for the belt if he's able to win a couple more, although I thought that Corey Sandhagen won that fight. Can you interview Kamaru Usman? At the moment, I don't think so, but he's welcome to come on the show. When are you coming back to Ireland? Sean Sheehan, I would love to. Hopefully with BT I can soon. Or anything, for any event, I would love to. Last one. Let me make it good. No, not a good one. Now I'm trying. Okay. Good one. As someone who might be trying to break into the industry, what would your advice be? From Tanner. I would say, and this is what I say to everyone, just start writing. By the way, Substack, great place. SB Nation blog, great place. Just start writing. Now, you don't have to write. I did audio podcasts back in 2007. Look at the landscape. Look at what other people are doing. Take from other people. Be different, be unique, develop your own voice. Don't just do recaps of Bellator 265, because why would someone look at that when they could see it on major sites? Find your lane. A guy like Mike Bond, who I didn't mention before, great job. Found his lane. Stats, factoids, does a great job. That's his lane. So my lane was interviews. I really love doing interviews. I'm not saying I'm the only one. I'm not saying I'm the best. I really love doing interviews, and I felt like there was a void in that regard in MMA. So that was the lane that I tried to develop for myself and build and all that stuff. Find your lane, find your little niche. There's plenty out there. There's plenty of platforms to do your thing and to get your voice out there. Like I see a lot of people saying, I'd love if you hired me. Well, it's hard to just hire someone out of obscurity who's done none of this and works in a completely different industry. Start a platform for yourself. And I always said about, Jerry Park that I started many, many moons ago. I didn't care if 10 people saw it or 10 million people saw it. I used it as an online resume just to show people what I can do. Use the internet to show people what I could do. That's the beauty of living in 2021 as opposed to 1987. So use these platforms available to you. Show people what you can do. If you want to be a graphic designer, make them on Instagram. I don't know. Do your thing. Find the lane. Get your work out there. Meet people, reach out to people, be cordial, be professional, work hard. And when you think you're working harder, work even harder. And then be patient. It ain't going to happen after 4 months. It took me, years to realize my dreams. I still haven't realized my dreams. You know what I'm saying? So just be patient. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you're patient and work hard, professional, cordial, and work a little harder, you'll realize your dreams. And with that, my friends, let us say goodbye. Frank, you can hit the music. Yeah. Oh, my. It feels so good to be back. Sorry for sometimes yelling, but I get very excited. Hey, shout out to the YouTube comments. I'm going to write something right now. Shout out to the YouTube. Oh, I can't even write YouTube comments. Sometimes you guys get a bad rap, but you know what? I say I appreciate you. If you could just keep it a little clean, that would be nice. But I appreciate you, and be respectful of others. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you. Much love. Most of all, there is no show without the fighters, and so I appreciate all the guests today, everyone who stopped by. Chris Weidman, all the best, my man. Second surgery in the books. Remember, you heard it here first. Spring, summer 2022, Belmont Stadium, whatever it's called, new home of the Islanders. You're going to walk out, won't back down. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Ciryl Gane, the French Prince. Put it on a shirt right now. I could see it. Crown, beautiful. Shout out to him. Kayla Harrison, good luck tomorrow. Jenna Fabian, great fight. Can't wait for it. Shout out there. George St-Pierre, the legend. Saint Isidore, much love. And then, of course, Gamebred Jorge Masvidal. Thank you very much to him. September 11th, Gamebred FC2. And most importantly, week 1 in the books. Thank you to all of you. Rating, download, subscribing, all that stuff. Back next week, same time and place. Until then, I say peace. I'm out of here.